Presented by Reynolds Body Shop and XRBRadio.com, the voice of Hendricks County. Avon Oriole football is on the air. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McDonald's, ABC Roofing, and Sullivan's Tire Plus. Avon Varsity Football is an AudioSportsOnline.com production. Now let's head out to the stadium and join Doug Edens, Coach Dave Shelbourne, and calling tonight's game, here's Brian Scott. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Avon Varsity Football on Audio Sports Online. Today, it will be the Avon Orioles taking on the Noblesville Millers in what was supposed to be homecoming, but it's still going to be homecoming. Just a little bit different this morning than last night. If you were with us or you tried to be with us last night, well, for the second time in 3 weeks, severe storms raced through central Indiana, causing many games to either be suspended or postponed, and that was the case here at Orioles Stadium here at Avon. Both teams actually made it onto the field. They had their pregame warm-ups, got their cows done, went back to their locker rooms. The band headed to the field and immediately made a right turn and headed back to the high school where they were told to seek shelter, as was the rest of the fans in the stands, as severe storms, hail, lightning, and a heavy wind came through Avon and much of central Indiana. They tried a couple of times thinking they might be able to get this game started, but in the end the storms kept coming in from the west, so they elected to postpone it until this morning. And as was the case with so many postponements and suspensions, it's a matter of when can you get an officiating crew, and for Avon and Noblesville, that happened to be at 10 o'clock this morning. So that is why we have an early morning start to this football game, and we'll get this game in here as it is a beautiful, it's a fall-like day. This game is actually going to begin in the summer and end in the fall as the equinox happens at around 10:48 this morning. So we'll start the game in the summer, we'll end it in the fall, but a beautiful day now after the storms have gone through. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 50s, so it should be a beautiful day for football here at Avon. Orioles are coming off of their second straight loss. They lost last week to Brownsburg by the score of 27-8, and it was a game that the Bulldogs of Brownsburg, who remain now undefeated on the season, they took the lead in that game early in the first quarter and never looked back. In fact, Avon wouldn't score until the fourth quarter. It was 10-0 Brownsburg at the half, and then it was 24-0 as they went into the fourth quarter. So for the Orioles, their second straight loss, and as a matter of fact, over the last two games, they've scored only 17 points in losses to both the Fishers Tigers and the Brownsburg Bulldogs. Richie Steinmetz for the Orioles last week, 7 of 19 for only 66 yards through the air. He threw one touchdown. He was picked once. And Cody Baker had 115 yards on 27 attempts. One of the things head coach Mark Bless talked about this week in his Coaches Show podcast with Rob Kendall on Monday on Audio Sports Online was that he felt the team wasn't quite focused, and it was for a big game in the HCC, much less against the rival Brownsburg Bulldogs. That may come as a bit of a surprise. I bring in the former coach of the Avon Orioles, Indiana Football Hall of Famer, Dave Shelbourne. And, Coach, when you kind of hear about that, especially coming into a big game, kind of takes you a little bit by surprise.
Well, it does unless you've been a head coach for a while. I mean, it's one of those deals that you don't know. I have a little running joke myself because my other job, I'm a guidance counselor, and I always joke that I got a master's in guidance so I could be a head football coach because you're dealing with psychological things as much as you're dealing with strategy. I think a lot of times people think that, you're drawing up plays and trying to figure out, how to attack defenses and that type of thing. But I think the biggest thing that a head coach has to attempt to do is you've got to work on the climate, the chemistry, whatever words you want to use. And you're talking about the chemistry not only of your kids, but, the whole team, the community, the parents, the school, and the whole work. So to put your finger on it is difficult sometimes. And, kids are kids. So, I sit up here in a booth now, and it's a lot easier for me because I watch these things happen. And I remember back, when I've had teams and you wonder, how can they not get up for a Brownsburg game, and how do they do this one series and this the next? But, that's football. I watch, some of the Division I teams do that on Saturdays, and you watch the pros do that on Sundays. So I think it's just kind of typical of the game of sports. Even though, when you look at an Avon Brownsburg game, you think that they'd be out there almost fist fighting on every play. Sometimes it happens.
This will be a big game for Avon. Again, they are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak, and they will be taking on a Noblesville team that is coming off of a 2-game winning streak. We'll talk more about today's game right after this. You're listening to the Oriole pregame show on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Oriole football has been sponsored by Reynolds Body Shop. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Call them today at 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on xrbradio.com. Be sure to join host Rob Kendall tomorrow morning at the Avon McDonald's on Rockville Road, where his special guest will be Avon head football coach Mark Bless and Danville head football coach Russ Sumner. That's the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on xrbradio.com. We'd like to thank our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. A proud supporter of Avon High School football on audiosportsonline.com, ABC Roofing Company is your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. ABC Roofing Company has received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. The ABC Roofing Company is also the area's only Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. Sullivan's Tire Plus is a proud supporter of Avon Oriole football on ASO, and they want to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for just $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They have 2 locations, one in Danville and one at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050 Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best of Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Welcome back to Oriole Stadium at Avon High School. Brian Scott, Dave Shelburne, Doug Edens with you this morning as we get ready for the start of today's game between the Avon Orioles and the Noblesville Millers. Noblesville comes in with a record of 2-3. They had a rather inauspicious start to their season. They lost the first 3 games of this season, but it was against the top 3 of the top teams in the HCC. And in those 3 games, they scored a grand total of only 7 points. Losses to Fishers, Brownsburg, and Zionsville put the Millers quickly at 0-3 on the season. They've come back and got back-to-back wins against 2 of the Lafayette schools, a 20-6 win at Lafayette Jefferson, and then last week a 21-14 win over McCutcheon. That was a game that the Noblesville Millers got a late touchdown in the fourth quarter to get the victory against McCutcheon. So head coach Lance Scheib, in his 5th year with Noblesville, is now 14-32. He is 112-98 in his 21st year overall. He will be relying pretty much on a running game, a running attack, as the Millers come in averaging a little over 123 yards per game. Leading rusher is Hayden Stinnett, 187 yards and 43 carries in 5 games, a couple of touchdowns. And their quarterback is a junior, T.C. McKiernan. He has 424 yards through the air, averaging about 84 yards a game, a touchdown. 6 picks, though, on the season, and it will pretty much be a running attack that the Avon Orioles will be looking to face here this morning. Coach, we look at Noblesville defensively, and for Avon, it's going to be kind of looking in a mirror.
Yes, it is. They play a similar style defensively. Again, I think the biggest thing that you mentioned has been the opponents that they played, and this is a key game for both teams because Noblesville. Again, opponents are different, but Noblesville's on a 2-game winning streak, and that's always good for the morale of the team. And Avon suffered a couple of big setbacks here the last couple of weeks, and they want to get back on the winning ways a little bit. And I'm sure, you mentioned the intensity thing. I'm sure that the coaches this week for Avon have been working with the kids about giving their all and being error-free and playing with a little more intensity. And I noticed just kind of looking at the depth charts here that, probably like most teams this time of year, and I'm just a little more familiar with Avon, that right now they're dealing with some injuries to some key players. So, you've got some kids filling in at some spots that they haven't, some backup kids, trying to move up and prove that they belong on the field. So, this is a key game motivation-wise and incentive-wise for both teams, heading into the second half of the season.
One of the big injuries that Coach mentions is the loss of Anthony Green to an ankle injury, and that's going to make a little bit of a different look in the backfield. Cody Baker, who has been Avon's leading rusher this season, he will move from tailback to fullback, and they will bring Jalen Edwards out from his wide receiver position and put him in the tailback position to start this game. And, Coach, a little different look. We've been watching Anthony. He's been kind of the big bruising power back. But to have two speedsters, two guys that are really explosive in that backfield in Baker and Edwards, a little different look for the Orioles today.
It will, but I think with what they're trying to do offensively, one of the things I think in the first half of the year is, Avon really hasn't found a key thing to hang their hat on offensively. They've done some things in spurts. Both the quarterbacks have done some good things at times. Anthony's made a few plays. Cody, the thing that I really have liked about him is he's tough as can be. And Jalen has big play capabilities. And I think one of the things they might be able to do with him at tailback that they had a little bit of trouble doing with him at wide receiver is give him more opportunities to make big plays. Cody Baker does have a little quickness, but I think the thing that, again, I admire in Cody is his toughness. I mean, even when he runs through tackles, he runs over tackles. So, I think moving him to fullback, they're in a split back situation part of the time. They're in a one-back situation, and I'm sure when they get into that one-back trips look that, they'll just move Jalen out of the backfield and put him back out to his wide receiver spot and leave Cody in the backfield to do the blocking. So even though they list, they're listing Jalen as a tailback, I'm sure we're going to find him in multiple spots. And I think what they're really trying to do is just look for more opportunities to give him the football.
Cole Johnson is listed as the starting quarterback for today's contest. Didn't get a whole lot of action at quarterback last week, but of course the Orioles playing from behind. Richie Steinmetz saw most of the action in last week's game. He went 7 of 19 for 68 yards. He had a touchdown and one pick in last week's contest. Both teams have made their way on the field. We're going to take a timeout, and then we will have the kickoff between the Orioles and the Millers right here on Audio Sports Online. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Oriole football has been sponsored by Reynolds Body Shop. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Call them today at 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on xrbradio.com. Be sure to join host Rob Kendall tomorrow morning at the Avon McDonald's on Rockville Road, where his special guest will be Avon head football coach Mark Bless and Danville head football coach Russ Sumner. That's the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on xrbradio.com. Alongside Doug Edens, who will have our halftime report, Coach Dave Shelbourne. My name's Brian Scott, ready for get this game underway between Avon and Noblesville. The head coach of the Noblesville Millers is Lance Shive, 14-32 in his 5th year at the helm of the Millers, 112 and 98 in his 21st year in coaching overall. And the head coach of the Orioles is Mark Bless, 22 and 8 in his 3rd year with Avon, and 171 and 75 in his 23rd year overall. Avon is 8-3 in this series over the last 15 years, including a 24-21 win against Noblesville at Noblesville last season. Teams are out on the field. You will see the Avon Orioles in their black with the white numbers and gold trim, and for Noblesville, they are in the white with the black numerals and the gold helmets. A beautiful day here in Avon, Indiana. It feels like football weather. It is cool. Temperatures in the low 50s currently, and probably won't get out of the 50s during the course of this football game. Of course, not quite the crowd we had here last night. They tried to brave it through the rain, but they're here. It is still homecoming here at Avon, the culmination of homecoming week. And they look to see their Avon Orioles head off, break this 2-game losing streak and head off in their try to get another winning streak underway. Kicking for the Noblesville Millers will be Logan Gray, a 6', 180-pound senior. Back deep for the Orioles, Dane Thomas and Jalen Edwards. The ball is in the air, and it will be taken at the 1, to the 15, to the 20, 25. And going is Dane Thomas to the 50, to the 40. One man to beat, and he will be finally driven down. It was the kicker, Ben Rice, actually, that made the play. And Dane Thomas gets this game started off on the right foot for the Avon Orioles, as he will take it from the 1-yard line all the way into Miller territory to their 25.
Dane is one of the toughest kids pound for pound, I think, in the program. He's not big physically, but nobody plays with more heart and more enthusiasm on the field than Dane.
Cole Johnson takes the helm of the Orioles as he bends under center in an I backfield. Pitches to Jalen Edwards, looks to get the corner, turns it up to the 20, to the 15, and he will finally be pushed out of bounds over on the far sideline after a pickup of about 13 yards. He will be run out of bounds by Hayden Camp, but a good start for the Orioles on the opening play of the drive.
Yeah, outstanding. I'm not sure. I was trying to check. Outstanding block on the outside by the wide receiver. It was a crackback block, and it's one of those blocks, if you make it, it sure makes the play, and Jalen's got the foot speed that once he gets outside, he's tough to catch.
First and goal for Avon at their own 8-yard line. Johnson this time will have Edwards in the backfield, but they have a miscommunication. One player went one way, the other went another, and Austin Ginther, the linebacker, is able to make the play in the backfield.
Yeah, that's one of the problems you have when you've got kids trying to play multiple positions. And, I know Jalen is lined up early in the season from time to time at tailback, but, now that he's trying to make that full-time switch. And, again, that's where, you hope that Cole, as a quarterback, will get in the huddle and not let Jalen leave the huddle before he knows exactly what he's doing, because that's a costly play on first down.
It's a loss of 10 on the play. 2nd and 20. Here is Cody Baker. He will take it right up the middle and pick up about 5 or 6 yards before Ben Elliott makes the play. Let's quickly give you the Orioles starting lineup across the offensive line. It is Ryan Willis, Zach Kaufman, Chase Alexander, Jake Higginbotham, and Brian Hunt. The tight end is Chad Skaggs. The flanker today will be Matt Batustik. Nolan Woolley will be the split end. Cody Baker is listed as the fullback. Jalen Edwards we've seen on a couple of runs as the tailback, and Cole Johnson starts this series at quarterback. A good pickup by Baker of about 5, but it'll bring up 3rd and about 15. They can get a first down without a touchdown, but they'll have to get the ball to the 1-yard line. This is Johnson. He is in the shotgun, going in motion to the far side, and lining up the slot is Edwards. And there is Johnson finding Jalen Edwards all alone. Nobody with around 6 yards of him. It's an easy pitch and catch for an Oriole touchdown.
Well, a couple things I like there. One, I noticed that Anthony Green went in as a fullback, and for blocking purposes, I'm guessing. So it's good to see that he can play even in spot situations. And I'm sure Eric Moore and who calls most of the plays, and Coach Bless, like I said earlier, they're using Jalen as a tailback. That time they lined him up and moved him out and took advantage of his abilities as a wide receiver. And already they found some ways to get Jalen the ball, and he's been a big play kid for him. And scoring on the first drive is huge because they need this for morale purposes as much as anything else.
Niles Edwards tacks on the point after, and with 10:15 left to go in quarter number one, Avon up 7-0. Back after this. This is Oriole football on ASO. We'd like to thank our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Takes Avon 3 plays and about a minute and a half to travel 25 yards. Jalen Edwards on the receiving end of a 15-yard Cole Johnson touchdown pass, and Avon quickly up 7-0 as they get ready to kick this ball away to Noblesville. Niles Edwards set to kick it off. Back deep for the Millers is Luke Kiesniak, and also back deep is Cody Smith. Edwards runs up, puts a foot into it. He will kick it, and it will be taken at the 7. This is Kiesniak to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and just stop shy of the 25 is where the Millers will have their opening possession of this football game. They will be led out by a 6'2", 195-pound junior, T.C. McKiernan. For McKiernan, this is his second year starting for the Millers. He started last year as a sophomore. And he will take the ball and see what Noblesville can do on their opening drive of this football game, already trailing by the score of 7-0, just underway, or 10 minutes and 8 seconds left, I should say, here in this first quarter. They will line up with two wings and McKiernan in the shotgun. They will give it to the wing on the far side, and nothing doing as coming in to make the play from that side, I believe, was Elijah Daniel. Chad Skaggs, excuse me. And, Coach, that was one of the changes we saw was Chad playing both ways this week, tight end, but this time he's lined up as a defensive end as well.
Well, I think, and I've always believed, especially at the high school level, you've got to get your better athletes on the field. And I noticed Jake Higginbottom, who's been their offensive guard and a solid one for 2 years, is playing middle guard. And they also have Matt Batustak, who's normally a wide receiver, back playing free safety.
That'll make it second down and 15 as taking it straight up the middle for the Millers, I believe, was Darius Duncan. And it's going to be a pickup of about 6 yards up to the 25-yard line, but that'll bring up third and long.
Yeah, with the style of play, again, I mentioned this in previous broadcasts, that Avon plays, I mean, they're bringing people. They're bringing the house. They're trying to put pressure on offenses. So, Noblesville's going to have to be solid, zone block up front, try to prevent penetration, and they're going to have to mix things up. And I think do it on the outside and throwing the football, because I think if you try a steady diet of running the ball inside, I don't think that's going to be successful.
And quickly we will see a timeout by Coach Scheib, and the Millers is wanting to see what they can do. A little bit of a confusion here in the offensive set on this third and long. We'll take a quick timeout. Back right after this. You're watching Oriole football on ASO. A proud supporter of Avon High School football on audiosportsonline.com, ABC Roofing Company is your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. ABC Roofing Company has received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. The ABC Roofing Company is also the area's only Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. Third and long as McKiernan this time will bend under center, and he will get Avon to jump as might have been Mac Duffin.
Yes, it was.
But he managed to get actually all 3 of the defensive linemen for Avon to jump. So good use of cadence, and that makes a third and long into a third and more manageable.
Well, the positive is he was quick off the ball. The negative was he did it account early.
So what was 3rd and 5 now becomes 3rd and 4 with the ball moved up to the 30-yard line after the 5-yard penalty against Avon. So McKiernan will bend under center. Hayden Stinnett, the lone back. 2 wideouts to the near side. McKiernan back to pass, gets flushed out, and Elijah Daniels comes in and cleans it up as he drops McKiernan for a loss of about 5 to bring up 4th down.
It looked like they were trying to run just a little hitch route. They only had 3rd and maybe a long 3, trying to run their wideouts down about 5 yards and just have them stop and catch the ball enough for a 1st down. But Avon's corners, they cover awfully well, and they sat on the route that time. So more than likely, we're going to see Noblesville having to go deep a little bit to throw the football.
Ben Rice has this one maybe partially tipped. It was, but it will take a Noblesville bounce. It'll be picked up by Dane Thomas, but he's able to fall on it. He's covered quickly, but once again, Avon will start in excellent field position at the Noblesville 44-yard line. They left Dane Thomas as a single safety back there to field the punt, and the Orioles were able to get pressure on Rice, and they managed to get a finger on it, and they'll start in good field position.
Yeah, they've come out very aggressively. Coach Bobby's made some nice calls, freed Elijah Daniel up defensively to make some big plays.
Cole Johnson, who has a touchdown pass to his credit, gives to Jalen Edwards. Edwards tries to find some room over the left side. He will be brought down very quickly on the play by Jake Davis. We gave you the Oriole offensive lineup. Let's give you the Millers defense. They will run a 3-3 very similar to what Avon runs, though they will show using 5 linebackers. Across the defensive front, Nick Santos, Ryan Garrettson, and Clay Ditzler. They'll show linebackers Ben Elliott, Jake Davis, Gunnar Bowles, Austin Ginther, and Donovan Lynch. And the defensive backs are Hayden Camp, David Corey, and Luke Kiesniak. Bring up 2nd down and 7 for Avon as Johnson play action pass. Drops back, has a man in his face, lays it out there, and that pressure kind of got there, made Cole Johnson get rid of that one just a little bit too quick as he was looking for Crest Kimbrough, who had his man beat down the seam.
Well, that's the positive and negative when you play that 3-3 style, because you're leaving your corners basically in man-to-man coverage, and a lot of times without deep help from the safety, because you're trading pressure for coverage. And it was a good play action pass. I thought he was going to buy enough time because the receiver was 10 yards open, but there was just enough pressure to cause him not to make a good throw.
Johnson will work out of the shotgun on this 3rd and 7. Play action to Edwards, fires over the middle, passes tipped and dropped. Intended receiver looked like he was looking for down the middle, might have been
tight end, I believe.
Sam Bloom.
Yes, I think they're playing. Yeah, I think they're playing Bloom. Bloom is not nearly as big and physical as Chad Skaggs, but he is tall, nice receiver, and I think he's going to get a little more playing time offensively tonight with Skaggs playing defense.
So Niles Edwards will have his first punt of the ball game. Luke Kiesniak, they're actually back deep for is Hayden Stinnett. Stinnett, though, will watch this one bounce out of bounds, and it will be a good kick for Edwards as he will get this one out of bounds inside the 15. They'll spot it at the 12, and Noblesville will be pinned back deep for their 2nd possession of the game.
Yeah, I think it was a good thought, offensively from Avon. You come down here, they have been running the ball successfully, but, they took a shot on a big play, which I always liked early in the game. I always had a philosophy you had to go deep 5 or 6 times a game, and, this way I think it'll loosen things up for him offensively.
This is Stinnett looking for some room around the right side in which he will pick up a few yards before Matt Batustik brings him down. Let's give you the Miller starting lineup offensively. Josh Podzelinski, Nick Carter, Daniel Buck, Blake Uberto, and Brandon Knight are the offensive linemen. Mitch Crum is the tight end. Keegan Sullivan and Darius Duncan are the wideouts. Trace Bolger and Hayden Stinnett are the running backs, and T.C. McKiernan is the quarterback for the Noblesville Millers as they will set up a 2nd down and a long 3 with the ball spotted just beyond just about the 19-yard line. McKiernan will bend under center, 2 wideouts to the top of the formation. And it will be a give, I believe, to Stinnett right up the middle. A little bit difficult seeing from here. We've got one of the rarities with this morning start, the sun right in our eyes. And I'm getting a bit of a glare on a couple of fronts, but it's a pick up to about the 21-yard line, and they should have been moving the chains, but
I think they're trying to decide whether it's a first down or not.
And the official is going to once again say first down. So Noblesville picks up their first down of the football game, as they will have it 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. They trail 7-0 with 6:20 left to go in this first quarter of play. As McKiernan looks over to the sideline, we'll quickly give you the Orioles defense. The defensive line is Chad Skaggs, Jake Higginbotham, Mac Dovin. The linebackers, Elijah Daniel, Thomas Hicks, and Brian Stinnett. The corners are Gabe Latskins and Devin Michael. And the safeties, Matt Batustik, Ryan Bradley, and Dane Thomas. And now we have another whistle stopping play.
Helmet.
And Elijah Daniels is having to come out with a helmet issue, and quickly to take his place will be TJ Wilson. So they'll start the clock and they'll start the play as McKiernan bends under center. Looks over a 3-man Oriole front, and will drop back. Thought about throwing it out to the right, and it will cost him as he is going to be brought down. Tackle once again, Chad Skaggs coming in to make the sack.
Well, again, I mean, I don't know if they saw that in the game plan or previous film, but right now it looks like Noblesville, you know, they know they're getting man-to-man coverage out there, and it looks like they're trying to attack them with, you know, with those short little hitch routes and that type of thing. But right now, Avon's just squatting on those routes, so they're going to have to take their receivers if they want to throw those short routes, and I think try some slants or quick outs or maybe some hitch and goes, because right now Avon's all over that.
Second down and about 15 yards to go for the Millers. Here's Stinnett with the carry. He gets a little bit of room around the right side, but not a whole lot before he's going to be brought down by Matt Batustik on the play. And once again, the Millers will find themselves in 3rd and long.
Yeah, for a kid who hasn't played any defense that I know of, you know, Matt's a hard-nosed kid, you know, pretty physical even when he plays wide receiver. Looks like it's been a good change putting him back here because he is very active. He's got a nose for the football, and he's already made 2 or 3 tackles, and we're still early in the game.
3rd and 11 as the Millers send to the near side Cameron Biesel and also Austin Williams. The pass is complete, as going up and making the catch is Joey Hare, and a 6'1", 150-pound sophomore. And the Millers are able to convert on 3rd and long up to their 41-yard line.
I think that's an excellent call by Coach Scheib against our defense. I've mentioned time and time again how good man-to-man cover guys Dane Thomas and Devin Michael are. That time they lined a wide receiver up in a slot and ran him on an outside route, which puts him on, you know, one of the outside linebacker type kids. And they're good cover people and they're good football players, but they just don't cover speed receivers as well as Devin and Dane do.
McKiernan will get to the line of scrimmage, and he will not get the play off. Play was rather slow in coming in from the sideline, and the Millers broke the huddle. They only had 5 seconds left on the play clock, and that's going to cost them 5 yards on the delay of game.
Yeah, they have had some mental errors already offensively. They had to take the timeout early and a little bit of confusion, and you know, they just made the big play. You think they'd be a little more pumped up, get that play in a little sooner, and get it called, because again, they were on schedule. They had a little momentum going, and now they're at midfield and they're in 1st and 15, and that, you know, that just makes the play calling a little bit tougher, especially against the Avon defense.
Ball will be spotted at the 36-yard line on this 1st and 15. 3 wideouts to the far side, but the give is right up the middle. It is Trace Bolger with the ball, and he will pick up a few yards, but not much more than that, as they'll spot the ball at the 39-yard line, pick up a 3, 2nd down and 12.
Now, I'm not sure if they're trying to set something up for later or not, but, you know, that 3-3 is just stacked and they're inside, and, you know, if they think they can earn their living running in there, I'm not too sure I agree with that. If they're setting it up for some kind of play action or option game later, I can understand.
This time McKiernan on the option keeps it himself, and he's not going to go anywhere as he is going to be brought down very, very quickly. Elijah Daniels among the first to greet him. Also in on the play was Thomas Hicks, and that's going to bring up once again for the Millers 3rd and long.
Right, and this is that situation I talked about, and give credit to Avon's defense for playing good defense on the last 2 plays, but this whole series was set up by the fact that they had the 5-yard delay of game penalty, so they started with 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10, and now they find themselves, with a 3rd and 11 situation.
We'll send 2 wideouts to the far side of the field. Darius Duncan is the wideout to the near side. McKiernan drops back, fires downfield, pass is incomplete. Ryan Bradley in coverage. Looks like he was trying to hit down that far sideline Austin Williams, but it'll bring up 4th down for the Millers.
Yeah, they kind of went back to the same route that was successful on the other side. They switched or twisted their 2 outside wide receivers and tried again to isolate a wide receiver on that outside linebacker. That time Bradley played it extremely well.
Ben Rice will punt this ball away. He had his last one tipped. That led to good field position for Avon. High snap, but he brings it down. He gets it away. Gets a beautiful punt. Thomas will take it at the 20. Eludes 1 tackle, cuts it to the 25. Nifty move to the 30, to the 35, to the 38-yard line. And Dane Thomas, who looked like he would have been nailed back where he fielded the punt, a couple of nifty moves, gets a nice return of it up to the Avon 39.
Yeah, Dane is just, he's one of those magical players. I know last year they had him playing in that outside linebacker spot, and you wonder how a kid that size can line up and play there, but he is just tough.
So with 2:22 left to go in the first quarter, and Avon with a 7-0 lead, they go back on offense. Here is a give. This looks like it was Cody Baker with the carry, and he will pick up maybe a yard or so. And his coach mentioned in the pregame, just part of his toughness. He took a couple of big hits, but gets right back up. And that'll bring up 2nd down at about 9 for the Orioles. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line as we are under 2 minutes left to go in this opening quarter. Avon took their opening drive of the game where they had excellent field position at the Noblesville 25. 3 plays later, they scored the lone touchdown, lone score this game. Here's a give. Here's Edwards coming to the near side, and he will get up beyond the 45-yard line before he is tackled. Brought down by Noblesville's Ben Elliott, pickup of about 5.
Yeah, it looks like right now, at least at the start of this series, that Coach Bless has kind of determined that maybe we're a little more physical than Noblesville. They've lined up in 2 tight ends, just a couple of basic power plays, and it looks like they're kind of trying to establish a little bit of an offensive attitude and just trying to be a little bit more physical than Noblesville at this time and maybe build a little confidence. I even see Elijah Daniel out there right now offensively in a wing spot. So I think they're just trying to be physical.
They will give it to Edwards, who follows Daniels' lead block. Daniels did his job, opened up a nice hole. Edwards does the rest. He takes it across midfield into Miller territory inside the 45-yard line, 1st and 10 Avon.
Yeah, Devin Michael just went in the game here offensively as well. So they're big-time players. They're playmakers. They're starting to be used a little bit more on offense here because, again, they're trying to establish an attitude. Right now they've got a nice little drive going.
Kimbrough and Michaels will line up to the far side with Devin in the slot. I backfield behind Cole Johnson. Cole, play action pass, nice one. Comes to the near side, fires downfield. Was looking for Devin Michael, but overthrew Devin. Devin made a leap, but well overthrown. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I like the play call. It's one of those they're trying to hit the home run, obviously, with Devin. They'd run the football here successfully 3, 4, 5 times in a row. First down, made the play action fake and dragged, Devin all the way across. Cole tried to get to the outside and square up to make the throw and just overthrew it a little bit. But, again, you're planting the seed with the Noblesville defense that they'll hit the home run anytime they want.
Green and Baker will flank Cole Johnson in the shotgun. Cole on a delay gives it to, this is actually Jalen Edwards, not Baker. And Jalen is going to be stood up by the Noblesville defense. Is coming in is Austin Ginther, a 5'11", 175-pound sophomore linebacker. pushes him back about a yard. It'll make up 3rd and 11.
Yeah, and to me, this is a situation for Cole Johnson and actually the Avon offense where they need to establish a little bit of that identity and that, that confidence in the offense, because you get stuck sometimes in these, 3rd and long situations. And, if your offense is going to be a good, solid, competent offense throughout the season, especially come tournament time, you're going to be faced with these situations and you're going to have to convert.
That is the end of the first quarter. Avon with a 7-0 lead. Back with second quarter action right after this. You're watching Oriole football on ASO. Sullivan's Tire Plus is a proud supporter of Avon Oriole football on ASO, and they want to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for just $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They have 2 locations, one in Danville and one at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050 Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best of Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Ready to begin second quarter action alongside Doug Edens and Dave Shelbourne. My name's Brian Scott. The Orioles will face a 3rd and 11 from the Miller 45-yard line as Johnson will send Edwards out. He will split out now to the slot near side. Johnson will take the snap. Has good protection, fires downfield, looking for Edwards, and once again, just slightly overthrown the ball. Gunnar Bowles was trailing Jalen Edwards. He fell down, and Edwards had a step but couldn't quite connect. It'll bring up 4th down.
Still looking for ways, to try to get the ball to Jalen. They've had him carrying the ball as a tailback and, getting him out there as a wide receiver on occasion, and sooner or later he's going to make that big play for the Avon offense.
Haynes Stinnett will drop back to his own 10-yard line. Niles Edwards will field this snap from his 41. Gets it away, pressure comes, wobbly kick. This one will bounce and take a Miller bounce into the end zone for a touchback. And Noblesville will start this drive 1st and 10 from their own 20. Just underway in the second quarter with the Avon Orioles leading by a score of 7-0. A 15-yard touchdown pass from Cole Johnson to Jalen Edwards, the lone score of this contest. Again, a beautiful morning for football. It feels like fall, cool temperatures, a little bit of a breeze. Luckily for us, no hailstones to be seen, as we saw last night. But for the Oriole defense, they will watch the Millers. T.C. McKiernan bring the offense back onto the field. Here is a give. Going to the far side is Cody Smith, and he will find very, very little room as Elijah Daniels and a few of his teammates bring him down for another loss. And, Coach, that's the thing we're seeing out of Noblesville right now. They're not seeing a whole lot of running room.
Well, and I don't think they're going to, and I'm not sure right now if it's the field position situation where they don't want to take any chances down here, or they're trying to establish things up front. But I agree with you. I think if they're going to move the football, they're going to have to be a little more creative with things. And the way Avon has played them in the secondary, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go deep here on a play action soon.
Joey Heron and Darius Duncan light up to the near side. Here's McKiernan. He finds his tight end over the seam to the 40, to the 50, inside Avon territory, and all the way down inside the 40-yard line was Mitch Crum, who just released off the line, went right down the middle, and McKiernan hits him for the big gain.
Well, good call, good formation idea there by Coach Scheib. They went to 4 quick wide receivers. They had 3 receivers to one side and 1 to the other, and as it turned out, they must have had a miscommunication in the secondary because nobody was on the tight end at all. Fortunately, Matt Patustak was fast enough to run him down because he was actually pretty deep into the Avon backfield, and with a little more speed, he would have scored.
Noblesville, first time they found themselves in Avon territory. McKiernan wanted to pull that or hand that ball off. Instead, he's able to make something out of nothing as he'll get a first down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he got creative on a bad play right there. It looked like they were trying to run a little fullback trap, and Avon got so much penetration they actually ended up hitting the fullback before he could hand the ball off, and he had the presence of mind to take the ball and take it to the outside for a nice gainer on first down.
It's another first down for Noblesville. Their first foray into Avon territory in this football game. They find themselves at the Oriole 25-yard line. There's an eye backfield behind McKiernan. He'll give it to Stinnett. Stinnett looking for some room around the left side, cuts it upfield, and he's able to get it down to about the 20-yard line before he's brought down. I believe Thomas Hicks, among others, in there on the tackle. But a nice pickup by Hayden Stinnett, a pickup of about 6 yards. It'll bring up second down. I'll give it 7 yards. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Noblesville still trying to play a little power football, but one of the things they're trying to do to counter the ability of the Avon defense is they've lined up a little bit in a little bit of a power, unbalanced I formation, and they're actually running the football here a little bit into the sidelines.
2nd and 3 from the Avon 17. Orioles show blitz. They'll give it to Stinnett. He'll go back around the outside again. He'll find some room, and he's going to be inside the 10, shy of the 5, but it'll set up 1st and goal for the Millers.
Yeah, that is what I guess I would call, kind of a scouting thing. I'm sure they've watched enough Avon film and either possibly seen somebody in this formation or just maybe from past film to know that they have a mathematical advantage right now. They've got an extra man over their end of the sidelines that Avon kind of count for right now, and if they continue to do what they're doing, Avon's going to have to make some kind of an adjustment.
1st and goal from the 5 for McKiernan and the Millers. He will give it to the fullback, who will rumble in from 5 yards out, Trace Bolger. And the Millers are on the scoreboard as the fullback Bolger gets it into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, very nice drive for Noblesville. Avon was in a situation with the football before. They tried to go deep a couple of times to get themselves a 2-touchdown advantage, and because they weren't able to convert, they gave Noblesville the ball. Noblesville just drove 80 yards, for that drive. So, Noblesville, again, momentum-wise, is kind of back in the game, and I'm sure they're feeling a little bit better about themselves because they did the majority of that on the ground, just running the football right at Avon's defense.
Logan Gray puts the point after on the scoreboard, and with 9:02 left to go in the first half, Avon and Noblesville tied at 7, back with a kickoff right after this. This is Oriole football on ASO. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Oriole football has been sponsored by Reynolds Body Shop. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Call them today at 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. Trace Bolger caps a 6-play, 80-yard drive in about 2:45 from 5 yards out to tie this football game at 7 as Ben Rice sets to kick this one away. Dane Thomas and Jalen Edwards back deep for the Orioles. As Rice puts a foot into it, Edwards will take it at his 8. He gets it to the 20, and that's about as far as he'll go. He'll sneak it up across the 22 to maybe the 23-yard line. And the Orioles will see if they can answer the Noblesville scoring drive with one of their own. They have 8:58 in this second quarter to play in a 7-7 game.
Yeah, very, very important right now. Again, just that they need to get that confidence back. They've been a little hit and miss. They've made some big plays, but they need to go out there and establish themselves a little bit. Just take their time, feel comfortable, and move the football and get a nice drive.
Johnson will start this drive out of the shotgun as he moves Edwards to a wide receiver, but the give is to Baker, and Baker will get some hard yardage up to near the 25-yard line, only a pickup of about 1.5 yards.
Yeah, you can already, at least on that first play, and it's only one play, I understand that, but you could just see the enthusiasm and intensity right now in the Noblesville team after that nice little drive. That time they ran just a little inside zone type play, and Noblesville just really flew to the football. So we might see some kind of a play action here to take advantage of that out of Avon right now.
3 wideouts to the far side of the formation. Edwards the lone tailback as Johnson works under center, gives to Jalen. Jalen works for some yardage up front. He'll pick up about 3 yards or so before he's brought down. and tackled on the play by Noblesville's Austin Ginther. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but again, big third down situation, and these are the kind of situations that, Avon needs to convert as much, to keep the drive alive here, but just for the whole confidence of their whole offense. And obviously Noblesville is hoping that they can get a 3-and-out, get the ball back, and, see if they can get ahead in this ball game. So big play here early in the second quarter.
Edwards and Baker, and now Edwards will split out to the near side. Johnson in the gun. On this 3rd and 5, Johnson fires out far side, looking for Matt Batustik, but once again misfires as that ball a little too far to the inside. Batustik tried to make an adjustment on the throw, but it goes incomplete.
Yeah.
It'll bring up 4th down.
A little high. They got exactly what they wanted. They went to a double wide 2 tight end formation. They basically had man-to-man coverage on the outside. Earlier they had been going to Jalen Edwards, so this time they decided to go to Matt Batustak, and Matt was covered one-on-one. Looked like he had a little separation from the DB, but, the pass just failed to convert.
Edwards back to punt. Hayden Stinnett stands back at his own 39. Niles gets this one away. It'll bounce. It'll take a good Avon bounce. And Stinnett tries to field it. Ball is loose, but falling on the football, fortunately for the Millers, was Hayden Camp. As Stinnett trying not to let the ball go any further backwards. Might have made a mistake there trying to pick it up, but his teammate Hayden Camp was there to bail him out. Noblesville will keep possession.
Well, there's no doubt. And again, philosophy thing. I always had 2 guys back just for situations like that. And you're short a player up front, but that could have been a huge play. For the Avon defense, they covered well. It was a good putt that kept rolling on the turf, and probably a mental error by the Noblesville returner.
7:20 left to go, first half of a 7-7 game. Bolger with a carry. He will go over the left side and run into a host of black-clad Avon defenders for a short gain, maybe a yard at best. Bring up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, we'll see if Avon made an adjustment, because right now Noblesville has found a formation that they like, that was successful in the last drive. They're unbalanced with a slot into the sidelines, and it's one of those formations that doesn't look like it should be good because you don't have a whole lot of room because of the sidelines, but they had lots of success with it on the last drive. Avon adjusted to it on the first play, and now Noblesville is out in a trips formation to the field.
McKiernan will roll out to the near side, screen back to the far side. Nothing doing as Avon's Thomas Hicks read it all the way, stayed at home, and the Orioles knock it back for a loss.
Very nice play, more than likely, and didn't notice ahead of time if he's in man-to-man, that's his man, and he stayed with him, and they sprinted to the trip side, the 3-receiver side, to try to throw Avon off, but Hicks had his man, stayed with him. When they made the throw to him, he just closed the gap and made the tackle. Great open field tackle, and again, now Noblesville stuck with 3rd and long.
Halfway through this second quarter on this 3rd and long, McKiernan play action, rolls out, fires to the near side, and the pass is going to be incomplete as McKiernan checking out to the near side. He was looking for Keegan Sullivan, and it'll bring up 4th down for the Millers.
And again, very, very closely covered by Devin Michael. Devin had him all the way. I'm not even sure a perfect throw could have snuck his way in there, and good pressure with that blitzing style of defense that Avon plays. They put enough pressure on McKiernan that he couldn't make that pinpoint throw, and now they're punting.
Rice to punt. Dane Thomas, a lone man back. Pressure comes, and once again, almost gets this. This will take a sideway bounce, and the Avon Orioles will find themselves once again with excellent field position on the Noblesville side of the 50-yard line. They will have it 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line in a 7-7 game. Avon now trying to get they went 3 and out on their last possession. They've gone 3 and out a couple of times in this first half. Looking to see if they can string a couple of plays together, pick up a couple of first downs.
Yeah, I'm sure they're caught a little bit with their play calling. They don't want to get too exotic and make a mistake, but at the same time, I'm guessing that they had hoped to maybe run the football a little bit more successfully here, but they understand the philosophy of the defense that Noblesville plays because it's the same defense that they play, so they know the same kind of matchups, and you've got 8 people from tight end to tight end, and there's a lot of bodies in there, and the advantage is on the outside, and and I think Avon has a little bit of an advantage because their wide receivers are pretty quick, and and run awfully well, and to cover them one-on-one in the open field is difficult.
Avon calls a timeout to begin this drive. I want to remind everybody that you can catch Rob Kendall and the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show every Saturday morning, except this Saturday morning from 8 to 9 with all the postponements and suspensions of games last night. Not a whole lot happened. Only one game in the HCC was played. That was Fishers and McCutcheon. Fishers won that game up at McCutcheon. Everybody else is playing today. So Rob is broadcasting the Brownsburg game today. That is a noon kickoff against Lafayette Jeff. So none this week, but every Saturday morning, 8 to 9 on xrbradio.com. Cole Johnson works out of the shotgun. First pass has Devin Michael at the 33. Michael eludes one man. Penalty flags are going to come, as finally able to push Michaels out of bounds was Hayden Camp. But we might also have a face masking added to this play.
Well, they're making me look good here because they got that isolation out there. Devin Michael is just a better athlete in the open field than the Noblesville defender, and he's out there all by himself, and that's a very difficult situation to be in. Cole got the ball out there on time. Devin made enough happen in the open field that in order to try to stop him, they grabbed the face mask. So not only was it a big completion on first down, but tack on a penalty, and Avon's already down here on the 20-yard line.
15 yards on the pitch and cash, 5 on the penalty. Here's a pitch to Jalen Edwards, blows through the first line of defense, gets into the secondary before he is tackled and brought down after a pickup of about 6-7 yards inside the 15 to the 14-yard line in Noblesville.
Yeah, good open field tackle by the Noblesville safety, and it's a good thing he made it because I thought Jalen had a little opening, and had he avoided that tackle, I think he had a little opening there and could have got into the end zone.
Coming in as the fullback is Brian Stinnett. Cody Baker is the tailback, and there's Elijah Daniels, wingback left. The give is to Baker. Baker looks for some room, finds the hole, takes it inside the 10 down to the 8 where the Orioles will have it first and goal.
Yeah, Coach Bless has come up with a couple of wrinkles of his own here. The same formation, that unbalanced wing eye, and, it's kind of power football, and, you got a wing out there that's 6'4", 250, and as athletic as Elijah. That's a big corner for Noblesville to try to defend.
Not often you're going to see your starting linebackers in at fullback and at wingback, but that is what Avon's doing. And right now, Coach Scheib, he's going to quickly call a timeout. We will too. 4:43 left to go first half. 7-7 game here at Avon. You're watching Avon football on ASO. We'd like to thank our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Doug Edens is with us. You will be listening to him at halftime with the Avon halftime report. Take you around the HCC. Tell you what happened last week because, of course, nothing happened last night. And tell you what's going to be happening next week. Doug Edens, you don't want to miss that. He's coming up at halftime, which is 4 minutes and 43 seconds away on the game clock as Noblesville calls their second timeout. They'll have one remaining as the Orioles will have it first and goal from the 8-yard line. And once again, we see Stinnett and Daniels return to the offensive lineup for Avon. This time they'll bring Elijah as a wingback right, and Stinnett remains the fullback. First and goal, as now they will actually bring Elijah in motion to the near side. The give is to Baker, and a nice play as Gunnar Bowles, the linebacker, came in and was able to pursue and bring down Cody Baker for a minimal gain.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a limited package here, and by that I mean they probably only have, 4 or 5 plays maybe that they've taken the time to try to teach Elijah. But, he's got that big body, and he's a great athlete, and, they're, it doesn't take a genius to figure out. More than likely he's going to be the lead blocker on those plays.
Kimbrough and Batustik will go as wide receivers to the far side with Batustik in the slot. Miller show blitz. Rolling out is Johnson. He fires in the end zone. Batustik, touchdown Avon.
Great catch, good throw. They had man-to-man coverage, and they showed it early. So you're just isolating your people out there. Matt went down, got into the end zone, made a little out move to the outside, and great protection by the offensive line and the lead back. And Cole put the ball right on the money and put it down low where it needed to be to make the catch.
Second touchdown pass for Cole Johnson, as right now he's looking for a holder. And that is Batustik, who had just caught the touchdown pass. As still 9 seconds on the play clock as they get ready for this point after. Good snap, good hole. Edwards' kick is up, and his kick is good. 4:01 remains in this first half. Avon now up on front of Noblesville by the score of 14-7. Back with a kickoff after this. This is Oriole football on ASO. A proud supporter of Avon High School football on AudioSportsOnline.com, ABC Roofing Company is your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. ABC Roofing Company has received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. The ABC Roofing Company is also the area's only Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. Cole Johnson's 8-yard touchdown pass to Matt Batustik caps off a 6-play, 41-yard drive at a minute 46. 14-7 Avon as this kick will sail into the end zone for the touchback, and Noblesville will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line, trailing by a touchdown now, 14-7 with 4:01 left to go in this first half of play.
Great drive by the Avon offense that time. You know, they got the big break with the face mask penalty, and you know that took them down. But you know, once they got to the 20, they showed some confidence. They showed some patience. They just took the ball and slammed it in there a little bit. And then once they realized they had man-to-man, took advantage of it. Cole made some nice plays and showed great leadership, getting them in the end zone.
T.C. McKiernan will hand off to Hayden Stinnett, who looks for some room up the middle, cuts it up, picks up a couple of yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7 for the Millers, trailing by a touchdown with 3:49 with the clock moving in the first half.
Yeah, they're going to have to play some error-free football here offensively. They just don't have the overall speed that the Avon defense has, and if they're going to take this philosophy, I mean, it's going to take 10 to 12, good execution plays to move the ball down the field.
Once again, the give is to Stinnett, who finds a little bit of room, and he'll take it beyond the 25, close to the 26-yard line. Brian Stinnett in there for the tackle, but once again, 3rd down for the Millers, 3rd and 4.
Yeah, of course, I'm sitting in the box now, and I'm not coaching, but they're almost showing too much patience here. If they're really looking to score, that clock's running here, and if they're just looking to sit on it and get to the half, then, whether or not you're sending that message out loud to your kids or not, they certainly understand.
3rd and 4, then a mix-up is McKiernan went to his right to hand off to his fullback, but his fullback had moved left. And for the 2nd or 3rd time in this first half, we watch a little bit of confusion in the backfield of the Millers, and that's going to cause Coach Bless to call his 2nd timeout to stop the clock with 2:36 left to go in this first half. And the Orioles will be getting the ball back. They'll still have 1 timeout remaining. And they will be forcing the Millers to punt the ball on 4th down and 5.
Well, they've got plenty of time, and for the nice drive that Noblesville had, the last possession, this time they came out and looked to me like they just kind of decided that they wanted to get to halftime and make whatever adjustments they were going to make, because they certainly weren't very aggressive in that offensive series, and this gives Avon plenty of time now. They've got little over 2 minutes here. They had the nice drive, on the time before, and it would be, a big boost to go in at halftime. I mean, ahead, it would be a huge if they could go in, either with a field goal or a touchdown and make it a 2-possession game.
Ben Rice to punt. Dane Thomas back. Thomas will come up, make the fair catch signal at the 42-yard line. And after holding the Millers to a 3-and-out, Avon now has the ball with 2:29 remaining in this first half, up a touchdown, 14-7, and in fairly decent field position at their own 42-yard line. So plenty of time to get something done. They covered 41 yards in 6 plays on their last drive that ended up with the 8-yard touchdown pass from Johnson to Batustik in 1:46. And still one timeout in their pocket as the Orioles will send Johnson to the gun and looks over the 3 down front. The give is to Cody Baker, bounces and spins off of one defender. He'll take it into Miller territory, very close to the first down marker at around the 48-yard line. Good hard run by Cody Baker, bounced off of one defender, spun, and he will be very close to an Oriole first down. They will take a long look at it and give them the first down. So 10-yard gain for Cody Baker. We'll give it 1st and 10 Avon.
Well, plus it stopped the clock for quite a while, gave Avon a chance to call a play and get set in their formation, so it saved them some time as well.
3 wideouts this time to the far side, and now penalty flags.
Avon, they either snapped the ball too late or the lineman moved too early.
Illegal procedure, false start called against Avon. I believe that's their first penalty of the game. It'll march them back into their own territory as they will spot the ball at the Oriole 47-yard line, bring up 1st and 15.
Yeah, that in itself is huge because Avon has been plagued by excessive penalties. I'm sure something that they have harped on, and if that's the first penalty, that's a good thing.
Edwards and Woolley to the far side, Batustik to the near side. Johnson in the gun takes the snap, fires downfield. There's Jalen Edwards. He's gone.
I'll tell you, that's a great throw and a great catch by Cole Johnson and Jalen Edwards, but I want to give a lot of credit to the Avon offensive line because that was an all-out blitz. That was one of those situations where, again, defensively you're taking a chance, and they blitzed the house, and if they had gotten there, obviously that never would have happened, and Jalen was as wide open as he was because that poor kid out there was hung out all by himself. But the Avon offensive line did an outstanding job in picking up that blitz and allowing Cole to make that throw to Jalen for the touchdown.
Edwards is on for his 3rd point after of the contest. He puts it through. 1:52 left to go first half. Avon now up 21-7. Back with a kickoff after this. You're watching Oriole football on ASO. Sullivan's Tire Plus is a proud supporter of Avon Oriole football on ASO, and they want to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for just $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They have 2 locations, one in Danville and one at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050 Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best of Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. Cole Johnson's 52-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Edwards puts the Orioles up by 2 touchdowns, 21-7. 1:52 left to go in the first half as Edwards runs up, puts a right foot into it, chasing Stinnett back into the end zone for the touchback. And now Noblesville, if they were a little timid on that last drive, now they find themselves down by 2 touchdowns.
Well, it's one of those situations, again, if you're going to blitz, I mean, there isn't anybody that I can see that's lined up in a Noblesville uniform that can possibly even think about staying one-on-one with Jalen Edwards in the open field like that. So I know you're taking a chance, but, boy, if you're going to blitz like that, you better get there because if you give him time, that's exactly what's going to happen. And, my hat's off to Coach Bless and Coach Moore, who's upstairs, I think, calling a lot of the plays. They have gotten the ball. We can count at halftime, but, Jalen Edwards has had many more touches this half than he's had in the last couple of games, and, this is what happens when you get the ball to your playmakers.
McKiernan was tying his shoe. Watch the play clock just run down. I think he was hoping the referee would reset the play clock. Instead, he had to run up under center, and he's able to pick up a few yards, but watch that play clock run down to a couple of seconds, hurried up and got the ball snapped at 2nd and 7 for Noblesville.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of disarray right now. They lined up on a line of scrimmage. They're trying to get a signal from the sidelines. Now they're going back to huddle, and the clock keeps running. So, at this point, I'm not too sure how big a hurry they're in or how much confidence they have even in their ability to get a score, and here they are running the football. So I guess that answers that question for us. It looks like they're going to be content to go in down 2 touchdowns. And, they've only got the 1 touchdown here in the first half, and if they don't start opening it up and starting to, do a few more things offensively, I think, they're going to struggle offensively the second half.
Trace Bolger carried the ball. He will pick up the first down, but clock is showing about a minute 5 left to go in this first half. Avon up 21-7. Darius Duncan will line up as a wide receiver near side. They'll send 2 wide outs to the far side. McKiernan pump fakes. Penalty flag on the play. McKiernan finding some room on the far side, and he will finally be run out of bounds before Thomas Hicks and Brian Stinnett. But this one's coming back on a hold by Noblesville. McKiernan with a little bit of a pump fake trying to freeze the defense, but staying back there, he might have had one of his big offensive linemen or had to hold to keep the Avon defenders from bringing him down for a loss.
Yeah, if they're trying to run a hitch and go or a double move route with less than a minute to go, it's, at that point, Avon knows the only thing that can hurt them is that long pass, so they're going to sit back and play a little bit of a cushion, not quite a prevent, but just, a little smarter philosophy in the secondary. They had it covered all the way. That's why you had the hold, and that's why the quarterback was forced to run.
49.1 seconds. The penalty will push the ball all the way back to the Noblesville, just shy of the Noblesville 17-yard line. First down and about 25 yards to go as they will line up in an eye behind McKiernan, and now the fullback Bolger moved a little bit, couldn't hold up, and caused another 5 yards to be called against the Millers.
Well, this is good for Avon. I mean, right now, Noblesville not only isn't playing with a whole lot of confidence, I mean, they're just having trouble doing some basic things. Avon's had 2 quick scores here. It's been a good quarter for Avon. They'll go in at halftime and fix the things that need to be fixed and hopefully come out here in the second half and, put this game away.
And we're going to have unsportsmanlike conduct called. I think Thomas Hicks rushed up as if he was going to fake a blitz, and whether he managed to get in there a little too close, don't know what was said, but the unsportsmanlike is going to cost Avon some yardage.
And I'm certain that will be corrected at halftime.
Once again, Hicks showing blitz, backs out of it. Here's the give to the fullback Bolger. It's a pickup to about the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up second down, and 11. As the clock continues to move, under 40 seconds left to go in the first half. So a good half of football by Avon. Noblesville with one nice drive. They got a touchdown out of it, but since then, things have kind of gone in reverse. 2nd and 11 for McKiernan and the Millers. There is Stinnett with the carry. He finds some room on the far side. He will be tripped up on a nice play, tackled by Dane Thomas. Stinnett will get up to the 35-yard line, and that is all as the clock winds down here in this first half. And as Coach says, it looks like Noblesville is going to be tent to go to the locker room, see what they can adjust here at halftime, trailing by the score 21-7. Doug Edens will be with us in just a moment. We are at halftime at Orioles Stadium, and Avon is up 21-7. Back with Doug Edens in the halftime report right after this. This is Oriole football on ASO. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Oriole football has been sponsored by Reynolds Body Shop. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Call them today at 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. McDonald's is a proud supporter of Avon, Brownsburg, and Danville athletics and is the home of the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show, heard every Saturday morning on xrbradio.com. Be sure to join host Rob Kendall tomorrow morning at the Avon McDonald's on Rockville Road, where his special guest will be Avon head football coach Mark Bless and Danville head football coach Russ Sumner. That's the McDonald's Hendricks County Sports Show tomorrow morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on xrbradio.com. Halftime at Oriole Stadium, Avon up 21-7, and with the halftime report, here's Doug Edens.
Thank you very much, Brian, and good morning, everyone. That sounds kind of weird saying. Welcome to this Avon Oriole halftime report. We'll be back for second half action with Brian Scott and Hall of Fame coach Dave Shelbourne right after this halftime report on audiosportsonline.com. Of course, 3 touchdown passes in the first half. That's got to be an Oriole record, at least I hope so, by Cole Johnson as the O's lead visiting Noblesville and making this game up 21-7 at the intermission. A lot of other things going on here at Oriole Stadium and the surrounding complex. The seniors are being celebrated with the girls' soccer team over across the way, so kind of have to be cognizant of that. There's going to be a band invitation, I believe, later on this afternoon, so we're going to have to get out of here pretty quickly. Anyway, around the Hoosier Crossroads Conference from last week in the marquee matchup in Hendricks County from Brownsburg. Of course, Brian touched on it earlier in the pregame, but the host Bulldogs snap a 2-game losing streak to the visiting Avon Orioles, staking a claim for the conference championship. The final was 27-8, pushed Bulldogs to 5-0 and dropped the Orioles to their second straight loss at 3-2. Freshman sensation Talks Akin Ribadi converted a 16-yard scoring run. Brandon Dowers hit a 24-yard field goal for a 10-0 Bulldog lead at the intermission, and the Bulldogs defensively frustrated Avon in a scoreless first half, halting long possessions without points, the last of which was an interception by Jeremy Schubert that set up the first of Dowers' 2 field goals. IU-bound Chase Dutra kick-started the Bulldogs with a kickoff return to the Oriole 35, and then Tyler Hudson grabbed a 6-yard scoring strike from quarterback Ian Good to make it 17-0. Dutra would later add another 6 on an 81-yard pass play, weaving his way through Oriole defenders to give Brownsburg a 24-0 bulge in the third period. Jalen Edwards' 13-yard touchdown pass strike from Richie Steinmetz provided Avon's lone score. That was 27-8 was the final. Elsewhere, Hamilton Southeastern won another track meet on Friday, this time with visiting Lafayette Jeff. The final was 58-34, and I believe the week before they put 50 on the board against Zionsville. The game that we did is a doubleheader in the Lucas Oil Stadium. The Royals would race to a 30-0 lead early in the second period. Ryan Ripp had a trio of scoring runs. The team scores a safety, and Hunter Hardy grabbed a 12-yard scoring. Had a 12-yard scoring run himself. Lafayette Jeff responded with an 80-yard sprint by quarterback Matt Johnson, and then Hamilton's quarterback Ross Risley teamed with Hardy and Cameron Polk for a pair of scoring touchdown passes and a 44-7 lead. Matt Johnson would account for 2 of Jeff's scores himself. Darian Green converted a 50-yard pass play into 6 and scored on a pair of runs. Ryan Ripp added a 4th scoring run, and Tyler Janney added a touchdown in the third period. Both teams combined 891 yards on offense. Hamilton Southeastern has won their last 2, and Jeff has dropped its last 2 after starting at 2-1. Noblesville made it 2 in a row, as Brian mentioned. 21-14 was the final over visiting McCutcheon. Hayden Stinnett spearheaded the Millers' effort with 103 yards rushing, a 2-yard run in the third period. John Costin started the scoring off with a 9-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Matt Marincic, who was 9 of 16 for 119 yards, but also had an interception. Noblesville would answer the Mavericks' 7-0 lead on quarterback T.C. McKiernan's short scoring run, but their 2-point conversion attempt was short, and the score was 7-6 McCutcheon. The Millers then would take the lead on Trace Bulger's 3-yard touchdown run and successful conversion for a 14-7 lead at the half. Stinnett would score in the third period for a 21-7 Millers lead, and then Nate Deno's 5-yard scoring run closed the deficit, 21-14 for the final. The Millers have improved, as Brian mentioned before, 2-3. They've won their last two. McCutcheon has dropped their second straight after the Mavericks started the year at 2-1. Elsewhere, Fishers improves to 4-1 last Friday, kept Harrison winless with a 66-0 blowout on the road. Maurice Campbell, Harvey Allen, Jay Shun Harris, Patrick Chavis, and Roberto Rodriguez all crossed the goal line as the Tigers put up a comfortable 35-0 lead at the half. That ballooned to 59-0 lead after 3. Maurice Campbell and Harvey Allen scored a hat trick with a trio of touchdowns each. Jay Shun Harris took a punt back 41 yards. Alex Sayakian converted a 34-yard field goal, and the Tigers piled on 466 yards in the win. Finally, Zionsville improves to 4-1 after a sluggish start to 1-4 Westfield. The final was 35-18 at home. The visiting Shamrocks would shrug off Parker Dunshie's 56-yard scoring pass to Chris Mason for a 7-0 lead on Paul Waite's 18-yard field goal and Devin Reese's 35-yard touchdown reception from quarterback Nick Ferrer. Ferrer would have a big night with 17 completions on 39 passes for 204 yards, but he was picked off 3 times. Colton Smith and Scott Panola would put the Eagles up 21-10 on touchdown runs early in the fourth period. But Westfield responded with Ferrer's second touchdown pass to Corey Costeca from 40 yards out. The Shamrocks two-pointer put Westfield in field goal range at 21-18, but Zionsville would put 2 more sixes on the board. Steve Wanuski's 9-yard run and Carson Kennedy's option pass to quarterback Parker Dunshie covered 22 yards would make it a final at 35-18. And that's what happened last week. Of course, last night, most of the games were rained out except for Fishers at McCutcheon. Fishers winning that one. I did not get a score, but I know that McCutcheon's always tough, and Fishers beat them last year 17-3 and 29-23 in the sectional. Fishers has beaten McCutcheon 6 straight, and of course after last night they have won 7 straight. The Crossroads Conference itself, standings before last night and today's games, Brownsburg a perfect 5-0, 160 points on the year, and they've had the best defensively, allowing only 55. Fishers is behind them, along with Zionsville. Both are 4-1. Avon, Hamilton Southeastern are both 3-2. Lafayette, Jeff, Noblesville are both 2-3. McCutcheon, Westfield are both 1-4. And Harrison is 0-5. Westfield, again, as we've talked about before, kind of a scary team to play. They've scored 112 points, the most of the losing the schools with the worst records, but they've also given up 126 points. Also on the schedule for later on today, Lafayette Jeff is at Brownsburg. Of course, Robbie Kendall of Audio Sports Online is doing that one. Noon kickoff there at the home of the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs won last year, 45-21. They have a 4-game winning streak against the Broncos, but they can't relax, though, not after you look at the last of the schedule. Zionsville and Fishers are both in October. As I mentioned, Fishers won last night over McCutcheon. Hamilton Southeastern is at Westfield later today. I'm not sure what the time is for the kickoff. Hamilton Southeastern is the perfect 2 o'clock is the time that Brian gave me here for Hamilton Southeastern at Westfield. In fact, Brian Scott's going to be doing that game. He's going to be jetting through our private copter after the end of this game.
Rob doesn't know that's in the budget yet, though.
He'll find out when he gets the bill. Hamilton Southeastern is a perfect 12-0 against Westfield. They won both last year, 49-14. They drew them in the sectional. And they won that 42-24. And finally, Harrison is at Zionsville later today. The Eagles have won 2 straight. They won last year 40-0. Harrison has lost 21 straight overall, so they're kind of in need of our thoughts and prayers, I guess. 18 regular season games since 2010, their last victory over McCutcheon in September of 2010. And, of course, next Friday night, I've got a little bit of time. Avon will be at Lafayette Jeff, Brownsburg at Harrison, Noblesville at Southeastern, Westfield at McCutcheon, Zionsville at Fishers, and hopefully I will not have any more bad luck, and I will be able to join Brian for at least one playing field game this year. We will be at
Franklin.
At Franklin, home of the Grizzly Cubs, and Then, of course, the rest of the time in October, we will be back here. Coach and Brian and myself will be back here October 5th. Avon McCutcheon. We should have the sectional draws. Have a lot more to talk about. And I will turn it back over to Brian Scott here with all the play-by-play of the second half is Brian Scott and the award-winning coach Dave Shelburne.
And before we talk about what happened in the first half, we're going to take a quick timeout as teams haven't quite made it back onto the field yet for second half warm-ups. We'll let you know what happened in this first half of play. You're watching Oriole football on ASO. A proud supporter of Avon High School football on audiosportsonline.com, ABC Roofing Company is your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. ABC Roofing Company has received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. The ABC Roofing Company is also the area's only Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. Sullivan's Tire Plus is a proud supporter of Avon Oriole football on ASO, and they want to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for just $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They have 2 locations, one in Danville and one at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050 Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best of Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. Motion 360 by Hendricks Regional Health provides care for the way you were meant to move. We care for every muscle, bone, and joint in your body to get you back to the activities you love. Get more information online at mymotion360.org. Back at Orioles Stadium at Avon High School, halftime where the Orioles lead by the score of 21-7. It did not take long for Avon to get on the scoreboard as they took the opening kickoff of this football game, and Dane Thomas ran it all the way back to the Noblesville 25-yard line. It would take only 3 plays later when Jalen Edwards hooked up on the receiving end of a 15-yard Cole Johnson touchdown pass. The point after was good, and just like that, Avon had a 7-0 lead. They would hold Noblesville to a 3-and-out on Noblesville's very first possession. In fact, one of 4 Noblesville 3-and-outs that the Oriole defense would be able to get them off the field on in that first half. And both teams would actually trade 3-and-outs. Noblesville would have one of their longest drives of that first half following, but they would end up having to punt. They would finally be able to get on the board there in the second quarter when Trace Bulger ran it in from 5 yards out, capping a 6-play, 80-yard drive. And the Millers had tied this game up at 7. Both teams traded 3-and-outs before Avon went on a drive where they had excellent field position at the Noblesville 41-yard line. 6 plays later, Cole Johnson hit Matt Patustik from 8 yards out, and Avon was up by the score of 14-7. Noblesville got the ball back with about the latter part of that second quarter, and as Coach mentioned, kind of seemed to be a little bit maybe timid, not really sure what they wanted to do offensively. Looked like they tried to take a little bit of air out of the football. They were forced to a 3-and-out, and Coach Bless used a timeout for Avon to get the football back with plenty of time left, and it would not take them any time whatsoever. In fact, 33 seconds as Cole Johnson hit Jalen Edwards on the third play of the drive from 52 for a 52-yard touchdown pass. And like that, Avon was up by the score of 21-7. Noblesville pretty much just wanted to run that ball out, get to the locker room. Coach Scheib looked to see what kind of adjustments made. That's how the first half ended, as both teams have now made their way on the field. I bring back in Coach Shelburne, and a lot of good things as far as Avon on both sides of the ball. And for Noblesville, right now it's just trying to find some type of combination.
I think Avon has done exactly what they hoped to do here. Defensively, other than the one drive Noblesville had, I thought their defense played extremely well. They're putting pressure on them. They're getting after them. I mentioned earlier a couple of times that, Noblesville is going to have to execute almost perfectly to move the football I think, against the Avon defense. And, the one drive they did it, the rest of the time I think Avon's defense dominated. I'm extremely happy in a way that Cole Johnson has run the offense here tonight. I mean, Avon has been very inconsistent, I think, with their offense, the majority of the year. Cole came out tonight, took charge. He's got 3 touchdown passes. I don't believe we have a turnover. I've mentioned some of the key, third down situations. We've converted some, and obviously you're not going to convert them all. But late in that second quarter when, things were looking a little bit tough, Avon came down in the last couple of minutes and put up 2 scores and really has kind of separated themselves here now. Jalen Edwards, I think, very creative play calling by Coach Bless. And again, Eric Moore, who's upstairs and, been calling most of the plays. They figured out some ways to get Jalen the ball. And, I would guess touch-wise he's probably, 10 to 15 touches in the first half, and he's made those big plays. And they've isolated him on the corner a little bit on some running plays and got him out there one-on-one with some pass plays, and they've been able to put some points up on the board against, a solid, if not spectacular, Noblesville defense. Special team-wise, Avon, got a block punt. Dane Thomas had, a 50 or 60-yard kickoff return, and, they've done the things that they need to do also with, with their special teams. So I would guess that Coach Bless overall was pleased, with the first half. Couple of wrinkles with Noblesville's offense that I'm sure they made some adjustments, and, they'll get back after it here the second half. But overall, this is, I think one of the more consistent performances that we've seen in the last couple of games from Avon, and I would guess that they were pleased, especially with the last 6 minutes of that second quarter. Avon took charge. The first quarter and a half, it was a little bit back and forth and maybe a little tentative by Avon on both sides of the football, but that last 6 minutes they played with the confidence level that I think they're going to have to play against when they start playing against some of the better teams and when they get ready for their tournament run. But Cole Johnson, I thought, offensively, he's kind of putting the offense on his back a little bit and getting the ball to Jalen. Jalen obviously is the big play guy, but the thing they have to have in that offensive huddle is a little leadership, and at least from our situation where we're sitting up here, it looks like, Cole has gotten into the huddle and gotten that Avon offense to play with some confidence here the first half tonight.
We've also seen some a little bit changes in both the offensive and defensive lineups from Coach Bless this week. We've seen some guys that we see on offense quite a bit in Chad Skaggs and Matt Batusik. They're playing on defense today and making contributions. And the same could be said likewise defensively to offensively. We see Elijah Daniel lining up as a wingback and Brian Stinnett lining from outside linebacker to a fullback and getting contributions on both sides of the ball from players that aren't used to playing on that side of the ball.
But they are their big-time players, and they're their playmakers. And, if you're going to beat quality football teams, you know the guys on your team that can make things happen, even though the other team does. But, that's why they're big-time players. If there's anybody out there that can block Elijah Daniel when he decides to play hard, I haven't seen who it is. And, there's not many people anywhere, I don't think, that can run with, with the likes of Jalen Edwards and, Devin Michael and Dane Thomas. So, we've got some players. And, Cody Baker, we mentioned. Cody's that nice combination of a little quickness and a lot of toughness. But again, and, I am biased. I'm a quarterback guy myself. But, I've just been really pleased with the way Cole has taken charge of the offense here tonight. And, yes, the stats look good, and he's made some very, very nice throws. But, it appears right now that they're settling in on offense and playing with some confidence, and that's obviously what they need to do.
Millers will have the ball to begin the second half as Edwards is ready to kick this ball away as Hayden Stinnett drops back deep. Last couple of kicks. And now it's an onside kick. They will bring it, and it'll be recovered by Sanu Dilson as Avon tries to change a few things up and throw a little wrinkle into the mix, but it is Noblesville that will recover the football at the 41-yard line.
Well, that may be one of those. I'm not too sure we'd be doing that if the score was tied. But, that's one of those. We might need this a little bit later on in the season. And, I think that's a good thing in one sense. I mean, maybe you're spitting in the eye of Noblesville here early, but I think that's Coach Bless showing a little confidence in his defense that if this doesn't work, we can still defend them and get the ball back.
Here's McKiernan on 1st and 10. You lose pressure, but still is going to be brought down after a small game penalty flag is on the play. Like tackle was made by Trey Strum.
Probably, I'm guessing, a personal foul. Yep.
And it will be against Avon as a 5-yard face mask will be called against the Orioles. So it will be 1st and 5 now for Noblesville at their own 46-yard line. Just underway, third quarter. Avon with a 21-7 lead alongside Doug Edens and the coach, Dave Shelbourne. My name's Brian Scott. Glad you could join us this morning for Oriole football as summer has now given way to fall. And the Millers looking for some type of offense. They will find nothing as Hayden Stinnett is going to be brought down hard. Tackle made by Dane Thomas as an Oriole slow to get up. That's Mac Duffin as he gingerly makes a way toward the huddle, but now he's going to make his way to the sideline. He will be he'll be replaced by Joe Belden.
Yeah, a little ankle or shin shot, so hopefully it won't be too long, and he'll get himself back in there.
No gain on the play. Call a 2nd down and 5 for the Millers.
Still confused offensively.
Had a halftime to look at it, and now they are going to reset the play clock as the officials stop, and now Noblesville will go back and rehuddle as McKiernan will check the sideline for the play. So 2nd down and 5 for Noblesville, just underway, as I mentioned, in this third quarter. They will send 2 wideouts to the far side of the field and an eye back with Bolger and Stinnett behind McKiernan. The give is to the fullback Bolger. Nothing going right there in the middle of that line. Chad Skaggs, one of the guys we mentioned, in there to help knock him down after a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, Chad is a tough kid. Great blocker offensively as a tight end and a very fine receiver. Runs very well, very athletic. And, this week they decided that they needed to take those skills and put them on defense as well. And we haven't mentioned his name a lot, but Jake Higginbottom is a real quality lineman. Usually lines up at offensive guard, but is also playing some middle guard in there tonight.
Play action pass. McKiernan finds the slot receiver who had leaked out to the near side, Cody Sullivan. Sullivan is going to pick up a few yards before Skaggs, Michael, and Thomas are able to get him out of bounds, but it'll be 1st and 10 for Noblesville as they'll move it to the Oriole 44-yard line.
Good call again. That's they snuck the back out, and that's a matchup again with that outside linebacker, and our kids are good players, but for them to lock up on a wide receiver, that's a difficult assignment, especially when with the play action that Noblesville used, they gave the quarterback a little bit more time, and he actually rolled out in the direction of the receiver and had time to make the throw.
This time they'll empty the backfield, but they'll bring Stinnett in motion. They'll fake the handoff. They'll throw out to the near side. The pass is complete to Joey Heron, but for just a few yards before Elijah Daniel is there to make the tackle. Brian Stinnett and Gabe Laxton's also in there to make sure he gave only a few yards, about 3 to the 41.
Yeah, a lot of work to get a one-on-one matchup, and I like our matchups. I've mentioned time and time again, and I'll keep mentioning our corners are as good as you're going to find anywhere, and if they want to put their guy one-on-one with our corner in the open field, I think we're going to win that battle 9 out of 10 times.
2nd down and 7 for the Millers. Ball on the 41-yard line of Avon. 9:28 left to go third quarter. 21-7. Avon with the lead. Here's Stinnett looking near side. He'll gain a few yards before he is brought down. Laxton's and Daniels once again on the tackle. They'll take it down to the Oriole 36-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, Laxton's is a sophomore. He's out there starting his first game. Gabe is, big, tall kid, very athletic. The fact that we haven't mentioned his name too many times tonight is probably a good thing because that means he's doing his job, and this is his first start, and he's done a very, very solid job out there at corner so far.
Bolger and Stinnett in an eye behind McKiernan looking to draw the Orioles offside. He'll give it to Bolger, who will plow straight ahead, and he will pick up a Miller first down inside the 32 to close to 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for Noblesville as they will move the chains once again. Opening drive of the second half. They started this drive on the 41-yard line after Avon attempted an onside kick. It was recovered by the Millers, and now as the sixth play of this drive begins, it'll be at this series will begin at the 32-yard line of Avon. McKiernan bends under center, tight end left. He'll drop back to pass. Looks to his left, still looking. Guns it over to the far side, incomplete. Looking for Cody Sullivan on the far side. Dane Thomas, among others, over there in coverage, and it's incomplete, second down.
Good coverage that time, man-to-man coverage. They locked on. Noblesville actually protected pretty well and, gave their quarterback time to try to find another receiver. There just wasn't another receiver to find. So, the coverage by the Avon secondary, again, was outstanding.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Millers. Ball remains at the 32-yard line as McKiernan tells his fullback Bolger something, bends back under center. Looks over a three-man front to give us to Stinnett. He goes around the left side, cuts it upfield, still running, and finally he'll be stopped. Forward progress will be spotted at around the 24-yard line, but it'll bring up 3rd down and short.
That's the same formation and the same play that, they've been running with some success most of the game. They haven't broken anything long. It's a little misdirection, a little fake to the fullback inside. They're running to, I guess, what I would call the long side. It's the unbalanced side, and they have had some success with that play, and it looks like they're going to stick with it until Avon figures out a way to shut it down completely.
3rd down and 2 for the Millers. Ball at the 24-yard line. As McKiernan once again looking to get Avon jump. He'll keep it on the option, makes one man miss, cuts it up, still running, eludes another to the 15, to the 10, goes outside, and Laxton's will finally bounce him out of bounds at near the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Noblesville.
Well, they've been setting that up a little bit. I mentioned, I think, on the first drive, that fullback dive is, it's a play you might get a couple of yards here and there, but they came back with it here on 3rd and short. Avon played it for the fullback dive. McKiernan pulled the ball, made somebody miss on the corner, and actually cut it back against the grain for a long gainer. And this will be big. Noblesville's in here, 1st and 5, in a goal line situation.
1st and goal from the 5. Here's Stinnett. He'll look for room around the left side, and he's going to be brought down on a very fine tackle. I believe that was Gabe Laxton's once again. And he saves what could have been a touchdown because it looked like Stinnett had the corner, but Laxton's got him wrestled down at around the 3 or 4 yard line.
Yeah, that's that same play. Just a little counter misdirection play. They're taking it outside to the unbalanced side. That time Laxton fought off his block and came up and made a tackle.
Ball is at the 4 yard line. 2nd and goal from the 4. McKiernan back to Stinnett. Stinnett cuts it up, and he's going to get a yard or two, and he's going to be close, but they will spot him just outside the goal line. That'll bring up 3rd and goal from inside the 1.
Similar action, but a little bit more inside that time. They've been trying to stretch the corner. Avon's done a good job with their linebacker pursuit, running to the outside to turn it back inside. That time Noblesville very wisely, instead of taking it outside, actually ran it right at the heart of the Avon defense and caught them over pursuing, and now they're down in there close.
3rd and goal from the 1. And it is McKiernan who will keep it, and he will dive over the left side just to the left of his center and into the end zone for the touchdown. Well, Noblesville takes the opening drive of the second half. They use up almost half of this third quarter, and McKiernan runs it in from a yard out.
They executed very well. They didn't make mistakes. They stayed on schedule. They attacked. They ran the football pretty well. They, knocked down whatever penetration Avon was trying to create with some of their blitzes, and they put together 8-9 plays there, and had about a 55-yard drive for a score.
Logan Gray on to attempt the point after. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 6:17 remains in quarter number 3 and Noblesville gets within a touchdown. They trail Avon 21-14. Back with a kickoff right after this. This is Oriole football on ASO. Tonight's broadcast of Avon Oriole football has been sponsored by Reynolds Body Shop. They are conveniently located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Call them today at 317-243-2372. They're open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reynolds has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, specializing in collision repair. Reynolds Body Shop is also an insurance work specialist. Learn more about them on the web at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. Noblesville takes the opening kickoff of the second half. They take it 59 yards in 11 plays, and they take almost 5 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. T.C. McKiernan runs it in from 1 yard out, and they trail Avon now by the score of 21-14. Orioles looking for their first possession here in the second half as they await the kickoff by Ben Rice. Rice runs up, puts a foot into it, a high short kick. Coming up to take it at the 23 is one of the upbacks. That's Brian Stinnett. And Brian will take it beyond the 30 to about the 31-yard line. And that is where Avon will begin their first drive of the second half, leading by a touchdown with 6:13 left to go, third quarter.
They just need to show some patience here, kind of get back into the rhythm that they showed at the end of the second quarter, take their time, see if they can reestablish what they've done.
So Cole Johnson, with 3 touchdown passes on the day, begins this drive under center. Fakes the handoff, keeps it, eludes a tackler, fires downfield, has a man wide open, Cress Kimbrough, and it's going to be tipped and intercepted. Picked off in the defense by Josh Gentry on a tip ball, slightly underthrown. Kimbrough was going to have to come back to the football, and in the end, the defensive player was able to tip it up, and Gentry was able to haul it in for the pick.
Well, that was a great defensive play, and I know, it doesn't look like it, but the coach and me, I like the call. They came out with the play action. It was just well defended and a good athletic play. They're still 80 yards away, but I like the fact that, Coach Bless decided to go for the throat there, and, I think he realized that they lost a little momentum with that last drive, and he's trying to put, a little confidence back into his offense, and the result obviously wasn't what he wanted, but I still like the call, and, Avon's defense is just going to have to settle in here and make something happen.
Bolger with a carry. He'll go straight up the middle for just a gain of a couple as Noblesville, fresh off of a long drive to begin the second half that puts a touchdown on the board. First play by Avon turns into the first turnover of the game as Josh Gentry for the Millers comes away with the interception. And now the Miller offense right back out onto the field. They'll have second down and 7 from their own 24-yard line. Backfield. Play action pass as McKiernan runs out. He's looking to the far side. Pass is incomplete. He was looking for Cameron Beasel on that far side. And once again, we're starting to call his name quite a bit. Gabe Laxton's in good coverage.
Well, he did what he was supposed to do. He ran with his man. Gabe is at least 6'3", 6'4". He's, I'm sure they made things pretty easy for him this week with it being his first start. They didn't give him a whole lot of things to do. Probably this is your guy and stay with him, or if they're in deep coverage, make sure you stay back far enough. But so far, he's done exactly what he's supposed to do, and he hasn't given up any big plays. And when they've gotten to his areas, he's made tackles and knocked the ball down.
2 wideouts to the near side is McKiernan on this 3rd and 7. Pump fake, looks, fires, looking to the near side, and he saw his receiver, Keegan Sullivan, go on an inside route. He threw the ball outside. Good coverage by Devin Michael in there as well. And it'll bring up 4th down as the Oriole defense gets Noblesville off the field.
And it should put Avon with good field position, even though they threw the interception on their only offensive play so far this half. It was about a 45-yard, throw down the field. So very similar to a 3-and-out with a punting situation. Avon's going to get good field position here.
Noblesville brings a man to the near side, but getting the ball away is Ben Rice. Dane Thomas is going to watch this one fall and hit the turf. and go out of bounds at around the 42-yard line. 5:13 left to go in this third quarter. Avon up 21-14. We'd like to thank our friends at the Hendricks County Flyer that have helped make tonight's video webcast possible. Please check them out online as well as watch tonight's game at flyergroup.com. Along with Doug Edens and Dave Shelbourne, I'm Brian Scott. 5:13 remains in this third quarter. Avon up 21-14 as they have their second drive, and Cole Johnson is going to be sacked. Is coming in and making the play is the 6'2", 175-pound senior linebacker Gunnar Voles.
Well, Noblesville guessed right that time. They lined up in their normal 3-3, but their outside linebacker, they lined him up so wide the tight end wasn't able to get a hook block on him, and he got himself upfield clean and was able to make a nice open field tackle on Jalen Edwards.
Cress Kimbrough will go to the far side. Nolan Woolley is the wide receiver near side. Green is now in as the fullback. And the give is to Jalen Edwards on a stretch play. Looks to turn it up, and he will be brought down on a fine tackle. Looks like that was one of the linebackers coming in and making the play on the far side.
They stretched it and stretched it and stretched it, and, they did exactly what you're supposed to do defensively, and that's make that running back run from sideline to sideline, and they never did allow him an alley or an opening where he could turn it up. And, Avon right now kind of in a tough situation here, 3rd and long. They still are up by a score, so even though you want to get a first down, you want to be careful with the football. You certainly don't want to turn it over at midfield.
Need to get to the Millers' 46-yard line for a first down. Johnson sets up the screen, and he can't hit Derek Tennant, on the far side, and that'll bring Niles Edwards and the punt unit on.
And again, tough situation. You certainly don't want to go 3 and out, but it's going to happen, and you just have to get your team to play with that confidence. And let's go ahead and punt the ball, play a little good field position here, see if our defense can either get a 3 and out or a turnover, and our offense will get reestablished. So 3 and out doesn't kill you. It's all a mindset.
Hayden Stinnett back at his 25. He'll run up, and he'll take it at the 32, and he will be brought down and hit immediately as Dayton Thomas, one of the gunners on the outside, he gunned in and drops Stinnett before he could make any headway whatsoever, and they'll spot the ball at the 33-yard line, 1st to 10 Millers. Clock shows 3:39 left to go in this third quarter. Avon still up 21-14. Noblesville took their opening drive to begin this second half. They marched it down the field to get within a touchdown, but have yet to do anything since. As here's Hayden Stinnett. He will take it right up the middle and take it up to near the 38-yard line where it will be second down.
Well, Noblesville, they love this formation. I mean, they've run this formation right or left probably 80% of the time tonight, and they've run either that little fullback dive inside or the little counter play off tackle or outside, and that's where they've kind of hung their hat. And, they've run the football fairly consistently. They haven't broken anything big, and, they seem to be content to keep running it, and Avon seems to be content to let them do it.
Here's Stinnett. He gets through as there was a whole host of black-shirted defenders quickly into the Miller backfield, but Hayden Stinnett was able to elude a few of those, and he'll pick up enough for a Miller first down at their 44-yard line.
I've mentioned many times they're going to have to execute, almost perfectly, and they've done it here on the first 2 plays. And, Avon's defense gave up a first down, but, nothing huge. And, I'm sure they'd be content to let Noblesville run the football like this, and as long as they don't break anything big.
Here is another run that will just go right up the middle for only a gain of about a yard to the 45-yard line, and that'll bring up second down and 9.
Good first down play for Avon's defense. They gave up, 1 yard. If you can hold the offense on first down to anything less than 4 yards, and you're kind of ahead of the game here.
They'll give them forward progress actually to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Millers. Clock approaching 2 minutes left to go third quarter, 21-14, Avon with the lead. Play action, McKiernan can't find any room, so he'll try to make something happen, and he will be brought down. Chad Skaggs once again there to bring down McKiernan. After McKiernan saw that play kind of blow up in his face, tried to make something out of nothing, but Skaggs holds him to no gain.
Actually, when he decided to run, he had a nice little opening, and good recovery. If that was Skaggs that made the tackle, he came up, made an outstanding open field tackle, and held him to no gain. And Noblesville's got their backs to the wall here a little bit with 3rd and 8, and that's where the Avon defense wants them.
Joey Heron is lined up in the slot. Cameron Beazle's wide out to the near side on this 3rd and 8. Back to passes McKiernan, finding tip ball, and Devin Michael jumped the route. Almost was able to pick it off as McKiernan was trying to find Cameron Beazle, but they'll bring up 4th down.
That's just a mismatch. Devin Michael is just 10 times the athlete that wide receiver is, and he read that all the way. And some guys have 2 gears, and Devin's certainly one of those. And boy, when he decided to make the jump, it's just too bad he didn't come up with the pick.
Rice back to punt, gets this one a high booming punt. Thomas will field it at the 19. Takes it to the 25, up past the 30 to about the 32-yard line, and Avon will have it 1st and 10. Not a whole lot of offense for Avon in this second half. For opening play of their first drive of the second half was in an interception, and then Noblesville forced them to a 3-and-out on their next drive. And now they'll start 1st and 10 from their own 32 with 1:07 left to go in this third quarter, up 21-14. As Cole Johnson settles under center, and he will give it to Jalen Edwards. Edwards will be brought down on another fine backside pursuit. Coming in was Gunnar Bowles, the senior linebacker, to stop Edwards for a loss of about a yard.
I want to briefly back to that punt return. From the stands, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but not only is Dane Thomas a very sure-handed receiver, but he caught that ball, took it straight up the middle, and picked up 12 yards that, a fair catch wouldn't have given him.
Jalen Edwards getting off of the field for this 2nd down and 11 as Johnson works out of the gun. Flanked by Baker and Green. Fires over to the right side. Here's Matt Batustik for a pickup of about 7 yards before he's brought down by the defensive back, David Corey, and that'll bring up 3rd and manageable.
Good play call. Noblesville was sitting there with, sound like the TV guys, 8 in the box. They had their 5 linebackers and 3 down linemen all within the tackles, and they're doing everything they can to shut down that running game that Avon has done, but they're also playing man for man on the outside. Avon saw that, ran a little route to Matt Batustak, and Cole put the ball on the money and picked up a nice gain.
That is the end of the third quarter at Orioles Stadium with Avon out in front of Noblesville. 21-14, back with the fourth quarter action right after this. This is Oriole Football on Audio Sports Online. A proud supporter of Avon High School football on AudioSportsOnline.com, ABC Roofing Company is your local source for roofing, siding, gutters, insulation, and more. ABC Roofing has been serving Indy now for 38 years. ABC Roofing Company has received the Angie's List Super Service Award for an unprecedented 13 consecutive years. The ABC Roofing Company is also the area's only Owens Corning Platinum Preferred roofing contractor, only one of 3 in the entire state of Indiana. They also offer a lifetime workmanship guarantee backed 100% by Owens Corning. ABC Roofing is located at 8499 East US Highway 36 in Avon. Call them today at 317-228-9882 or check them out on the web at www.abcrfg.com. We flip ends as the Orioles will have a 3rd down and 3 to begin the fourth quarter, up 21-14 alongside Doug Edens and Dave Shelbourne. My name's Brian Scott. They'll bring Chad Skaggs in motion to the far sideline, tight end left, as Cole Johnson is under center. And now Noblesville gets a little antsy, and it's going to cost them big as the 5 yards will give Avon a first down.
Well, that's huge. I mean, that's a free 5 yards. 1st and 5, they've got to look, they've got a play here to play with. I don't know if they'll take a chance and do some play action or maybe try to get to the outside, but a score on this drive, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, would be big. The start of the fourth quarter to get to a two-possession game would give them a little breathing room for Avon.
Green and Edwards in the backfield. Here's Edwards on the pitch. Finds some room on the far side to the 50, to the 40. Has one man to beat, and he will be chopped down out of bounds on the far side. David Corey with a touchdown-saving tackle. But Jalen Edwards will take it all the way down to the Miller 25.
Two outstanding blocks by the wide receivers and a nice hook block by Skaggs set that up. And, you get the ball to Jalen Edwards enough times, you're going to have some some low percentage or low yardage plays, but he's going to hit that home run for you a couple times a game, and he hit one there.
Spotted the ball at the 24-yard line. Here's the pitch to Edwards. He couldn't come up with it, and wisely just ran back and covered the ball up. But it's a loss back to about the 36-yard line.
Well, this is where we'll check a little bit on that midseason maturity of the offense. You hate to have that miscue like that, but they had the one big play. They're going to have to overcome this. They certainly have dug themselves a little bit of a hole here because they've got second and 20, 21, 22. But, this is where they have to show a little patience. They have to show some confidence in their offense. And they need to get this first down or at least get the ball up here enough where they can have a shot at a field goal.
Devin Michael is to the near side. Nolan Woolley to the far side. Johnson, play action pass, rolls near side. Looks, fires, passes complete to Brian Stinnett. And Stinnet's going to take it down to about the 25-yard line.
Nice play. There's that little play action. Brian's just one of those tough kids that as a high school coach, you love to coach. Brian's one of those kids. I had him when he was a freshman. He has fun playing. He's tough. He comes to practice every day and gives you everything he's got. He's a good teammate. Whatever the coaches want him to do, he's going to do it. And, he's even making his contribution here a little bit of fullback. They put him in because he's a blocker and because he's a tough kid, but he's got enough skills and ability to get out there and catch that ball and, make a good play happen for the Avon offense.
Add 5 yards for a face mask, and it'll bring up third down at about 6 for the Orioles. Johnson out of the gun, drops back to pass. Good protection. Now he'll take off to the 20, makes a cut, still running, and he will dive very close to the first down. Had to get it inside the 15 to about the 14, and that's about where Cole looks like he's went down.
Well, good decision. They were looking to go deep and try to hit the home run and see if they could get the ball in the end zone, but very wisely saw that it was covered. His offensive line did their job and gave him plenty of time. And Cole's a good athlete. Tucked that ball under his arm and took it up inside and got what he could. And fortunately, he got enough to get a first down. So, as I mentioned earlier, they had their backs to the wall with a 1st and 22, but they did convert. They did get the first down. Now they're back on schedule here on the 14-yard line.
So 1st and 10 from the 14. Pitches back to Jalen. Jalen looking for some room. Cuts it to the 10. Inside the 10, down to about the 9-yard line.
Good solid play. They're in unbalance with the tight end over there blocking. They've got the extra blocker with the wide receiver. Good lead block by the fullback, and you've got your speed guy out there running the football, and it's a nice gain, but, especially from up here, you can see he's very, very close to breaking it all for a touchdown.
That'll bring up to good on the 5-yard gain. 2nd down and 5 from the 9. I backfield behind Johnson. Johnson will give it to Jalen. Jalen will cut inside, but he's going to be stood up after a gain of maybe just a yard or two. As coming in to make the tackle, we'll look as they unpile for Noblesville was Austin Ginther.
Yeah, good tackle by him. They had gone outside out of that formation a couple of times with the toss sweep. Tried to cross him up because Noblesville's defensive pursuit was good. Tried to come back with an off-tackle play to see if they could catch him. And, one of the guys stayed home like he was supposed to and made the play.
Kimbrough and Michael are lined up as wideouts to the far side with Michael in the slot. I backfield behind Johnson. Johnson, play action pass, rolls to the near side, fires. Looking for Devin Michael, but the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It'll fall incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Orioles, and that will bring on Niles Edwards.
Yeah, they tried to run that little crossing route again with Devin Michael, made a nice play action fake, and because they had been running the football pretty well, it should have worked, but somebody got a little leakage, a little penetration enough that they were able to knock the ball down, and Avon's out there trying to kick the field goal right now.
26-yard field goal for Niles Edwards. Good snap, good hold, but the kick is going to be missed wide left. And this drive will come up short as the Orioles miss on the field goal opportunity, and Noblesville will have the ball, still trailing by only 7 points with 9:02 left to go in the football game.
I think I hit a couple golf shots like that Wednesday afternoon.
It is a bit of a stiff wind where Niles was kicking. We see flags moving in all sorts of different directions here. You look at one end of the stadium, it looks like it's the crosswind. You look at the other side, it looks like he was kicking into a stiff wind, and indeed that wind looked like it might have held that ball up. 1st and 10 for Noblesville as Stinnett with the ball as they begin again with this drive here in the fourth quarter. Only down by 7.
Well, I don't know if it's a good news thing, but I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, it was just, he totally missed it. Sometimes it's tougher if it's right on the bar and you're not sure, but he just missed it, and that happens sometimes.
Gain of a little more than 5 yards by Hayden Stinnett will bring up 2nd down and less than 5. Orioles show blitz. They back out of it. McKiernan will give it to the fullback Bolger, and Bolger will plow ahead to the 30, which should be enough for a Noblesville first down. And it is, as they will move the chains. Clock shows 8:17 left to go in this fourth quarter. Avon up front 21-14.
Well, Coach Scheib, he came in with his game plan, and boy, he stuck to it. They've only run a handful of plays from a couple of formations, and they've been doing it from start to finish, and they've moved the football here a little bit, and they're still hanging their hat on it.
Play action pass. McKiernan looks, fires downfield, looking for Darius Duncan. Threw it about a mile over his head. Gabe Latskins in coverage. Had decent coverage, but the ball well overthrown by McKiernan.
That was the same play they ran earlier to the tight end when the tight end was so open. That time Avon covered it well, must have made the adjustment. He really didn't have any place to go. He had enough time, and he was smart enough just to decide that this wasn't going to work and threw the ball away.
So 2nd and 10 for Noblesville at their own 30-yard line. As once again, Noblesville will put 2 wideouts to the far side as Stinnett checks with Bolger. They line up in an eye behind McKiernan. 3 seconds, 2 seconds on the play clock. They get it off. Here's Stinnett, and Hayden Stinnett will plow ahead over the right side for a gain of maybe 2 or 3 yards, but that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 7 for Noblesville.
Well, that's the same play they've been running all night. A little counter misdirection to the unbalanced side. Again, good solid gain. 3-4 yard gain, but now they're left with a 3rd and 7 situation.
Ball is actually now on the 34-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Noblesville. Clock moving, 7:20 left to go in this fourth quarter. Big 3rd down for Noblesville. They trail only by 7. I just watched Avon march down the field. McKiernan looking by some time, but he's going to be met. And finally, Elijah Daniels, Brian Stinnett, and a host of other tacklers for Avon bring him down near the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line. That's going to bring on Ben Rice in the punting unit for Noblesville.
Great pressure by the Avon defense. They went after it. They blitzed a little bit. They running that same little twist switch route on the outside that was covered very well, but he was running for his life from the snap. And, Noblesville's starting to run out of time. If Avon can take this ball, need some time off the clock and put one up, they should be able to put it away. So this next drive by Avon is going to be very important.
Dane Thomas is good pressure. The Orioles have been getting good pressure all night. Ben Rice has gotten some nice-looking punts, got some good spiral heading into a stiff wind, and he will put it out of bounds at around the Oriole, just outside the Oriole 37-yard line. That's where Avon will take over 1st and 10, up 21-14 with 6:19 left to go in the fourth quarter. So Johnson and the Oriole offense had a fairly nice drive the last time out. It ended up in a missed 26-yard field goal. And now they have the ball back once again with 6:19 left to go. Skaggs moves to the near side as Johnson looks over a three-man front. The ball is given to Jalen Edwards, who will plow ahead to the 41-yard line, a pickup of about 3 yards on the play.
Same formation. It's a formation of the night here, a little unbalanced eye with a tight end in there. And Avon has gone outside with it the majority of the time, decided to come back that time, run just a little isolation play up the middle, see if they could cross them up. And, pretty good game for first down.
Tennant and Green are actually in the eye behind Johnson. And the give is to a keeper by Johnson. He finds some room around the left side, and he will be finally brought down. He might be about a yard shy as he was tackled on that far sideline. Hayden Camp with the tackle, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, same action as before. They faked the isolation inside running play to the eye back, Derek Tennant. Cole kept the ball, took it to the outside, made a very nice gain, had to make a couple people miss, and came up here just short.
So Johnson stepped out of bounds, so the clock is stopped at 5:38. Once again, Tennant the tailback, but it is Johnson on the quarterback keeper, and he will have the first down. Plows right on ahead, gets behind his big 6'3", 300-pound senior center, Chase Alexander, and picks up the necessary yardage to give the Orioles a first down.
Well, so far they're doing exactly what they want to do. I mean, very methodical, 3 running plays, take some time off the clock, but continue to move the football into Noblesville territory, and this is a very good start to, what at this time is the most important drive of the game.
1st and 10, Avon at their own 49-yard line. Once again, Tennant and Green behind Johnson. Cole will give the ball to Tennant. Tennant with a breakthrough, goes to the 40 and inside the 40 and down near the 36-yard line. Big pickup for the 5'8", 170-pound sophomore, Derek Tennant.
Well, they caved in that side of the line. Good block by Skaggs and the offensive tackle on that side. Anthony Green's been getting limited time here tonight, but great kick-out block on the outside linebacker. Derek Tennant hit that hole. There wasn't anybody there, and that was actually the defensive corner that had to make the touchdown-saving tackle.
And spot the ball at the 37-yard line, but it's 1st and 10 Avon. Clock moves, 4:47 left to go in the football game. Cole Johnson bends under center, long count. Here's Tennant again, and this time he will find very little room around that left side before Gunnar Bowles and the rest of his Miller defensive teammates is able to bring him down for a loss of a yard.
And that's okay. The clock still continues to run. I like the little things that that are happening right now. Avon's playing with a little confidence. I watched Cole Johnson came up and checked out that 25-second clock and let it run down to about 3 seconds. So he's doing all those little things that a quarterback has to do in this situation in this time of the game. They're getting in and out of the huddle with a little more confidence. They're continuing to run the clock down. We're under 4 minutes here to go in the game, and they have a nice little drive going.
Patustik to the far side, Woolley to the near side. Johnson will work out of the gun. Showing blitz by the Millers. Now they back off of it, and Tennant on the delayed draw will take it up the middle, but he will be brought down after very, very little gain. Tackle made by the Clay Ditzler for Noblesville, a pickup of maybe a yard or two, but it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Orioles.
And the clock continues to run. So, at this point, they are inside Noblesville territory. As long as Avon does the things they're supposed to do, even if they don't pick up the first down here, if they can punt the ball down into the territory and make Noblesville go 80, 90 yards, they've done their job.
Jalen Edwards is back in. He's lined up as a wideout. Down the middle here is Sam Bloom, and Bloom will take it all the way in for the touchdown from 37 yards out.
Kind of a little turnaround. That's the same play that Noblesville hurt us with earlier, somehow or another, and I don't know how that happened. They had a little screw up there. They're in a 3-deep secondary. Avon put 4 quick receivers up on the line of scrimmage. Cole was smart enough to see that the tight end either wasn't covered or was covered by a linebacker that couldn't stay with him, and with a little play-action fake, Bloom came wide open. He hit the ball in stride, he made a nice catch, and then made a couple of moves in the open field, and hopefully that'll be enough. That's so far a great night for Cole Johnson. I think that's his third or fourth touchdown pass. He's playing very confidently. He's become a leader here for the offense tonight, and that was a big play. That gives him a little breathing room, and certainly maybe doesn't put the game away, but does give you a little breathing room here. And if the Avon defense continues to play the way they've played, hopefully we'll be okay, because at this point Noblesville hasn't shown the ability to hit a big play. They have moved the ball nickel and dimed it a little bit, but they haven't shown. I would guess if we check the stats, they probably don't have a play over 10 yards here the entire night. And, they're 2 touchdowns down right now with 3 minutes to go in the game. So hopefully Avon has done their job and done what they needed to do. They got the points on the board. Hopefully they'll come out of here tonight feeling much more confident about their offense. They've shown the ability to move the football, and, that was a huge play.
Edwards' kick is going to go out of bounds as it takes a bounce and goes sideways. On the Avon scoring drive, it takes 8 plays to go 63 yards in 3 minutes and 13 seconds. And the big play, it was the 37-yard touchdown pass from Cole Johnson to Sam Bloom. Johnson's 4th TD throw of the game with only 1 INT. And that INT, you can create more to a tip drill that allowed Noblesville to pick off the very first offensive play here in this second half by Avon. But right now, Avon up 2 touchdowns with only 3:06 left to go in the football game. Noblesville has the ball 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, down by 2 touchdowns. McKiernan will roll out. He's going to be pressured. Elijah Daniels gets him, and the pass incomplete. He was looking down the far sideline, trying to hit down that line Mitch Crum, the tight end. But Elijah Daniels got to McKiernan just as he was releasing the ball, and it goes long, incomplete.
Well, Avon's not changing their style, and Noblesville's down 2 touchdowns and running play-action pass. I'm not sure, what the thinking is, because that's something you do to, try to disrupt the linebackers who right now, because they're blitzing, are in man-to-man, so they're going to lock on their guy and run with him. But Avon did their job. They put the pressure on and covered their men and did exactly what they're supposed to do.
Well, once again, more confusion on offense for Noblesville. Coach Scheib calls a timeout. We will as well. 2:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. Avon up over Noblesville by the score 28-14. This is Oriole football on ASO. Sullivan's Tire Plus is a proud supporter of Avon Oriole football on ASO, and they want to remind you that in order to receive a complete oil change for just $18.99, all you have to do is like them on Facebook. They have 2 locations, one in Danville and one at 8397 East US 36 in Avon. You can call them for all your automotive needs and questions at 317-272-5050 Monday through Saturday. Sullivan's Tire Plus, voted the best of Hendricks County for 3 years in a row. Noblesville with a 2nd down and 10 from their own 35-yard line, trailing 28-14 with 2:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. Here's McKiernan. Here comes Daniels, and Daniels gets him, and nobody around. But McKiernan now slow to get up after that. Could be intentional grounding. I didn't see a flag out there. As McKiernan got rid of that just as Daniels brought him to the ground.
Very wisely.
It will be 3rd down and 10 as they'll put the ball at the 35-yard line. Elijah all over T.C. McKiernan. Good speed from Daniels.
Well, good call again. Coach Bombi is, he's done his homework. He created a blitz situation there to free up Elijah. And, it was a foot race, and it looked like Elijah was ultimately going to win, and he got there just in time to cause the bad throw.
3rd down and 10 for Noblesville. 3 wideouts. As McKiernan, once again, play action, rolls to the far side, fires down the field. Pass is incomplete as he bounces it into the hands of Cody Sullivan. And Sullivan comes up holding that right arm a bit as he heads to the sideline. Ball was trapped, and now the ball game will be right here as it'll be 4th and 10 with Noblesville down 2 touchdowns, 2:46 remain in the football game.
I haven't seen Noblesville yet this year, so I'm not sure. But, this is the situation right now. They got 4th down. I'm not sure they don't need to be in shotgun and load something up. And any of those trick plays they have, they may need to pull something out here.
Noblesville on this 4th and 10. McKiernan looking for some room to the far side. Pump fakes, gets Daniels in the air. Still has a long way to go, though, and he will not get the first down. Good little pump fake, but it's Devin Michael who was there to stop him at around the 42, 41-yard line. It will not be enough for a first down, and Avon will take over on downs.
I don't like to be critical of other coaches, and this certainly will sound that way, but you got 4th and 10 running play action pass. I'm not quite sure I understand that call, and with the pressure Avon's defense has been putting on him, I don't know about putting him under center either, because he's a good thrower and a nice quarterback, but he's not the quickest of foot. And then to ask him to set up and still throw the ball on time, I think you put him in a tough situation.
So Avon up by 2 touchdowns and the ball. Here's a give to Derek Tennant. He blasts through the line at the point of attack, and he'll take it down to the 35-yard line for a pickup of about 7 on the first play of the drive.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Bless and his staff, they're going to come out of here with a lot of positives tonight. I think Cole Johnson has established himself as a quality quarterback tonight, and he's going to have to feel a lot more, good about himself. The Avon offensive line has continued to play well and given him time. They've made some big plays. They've had some other people step up here. Sam Blue made the nice catch, and a couple of people, done their job defensively that hadn't had a chance to play before. So lots of positives for Avon tonight.
Here's Derek once again just following his blockers inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line, and it will be enough for an Oriole first down as they'll move the chains. 1:49 left on the clock when they resume, as they wind the clock once the chains are set.
He's got the big cast on his arm, but it's nice to see Anthony Green get out there and make a contribution. He's lining up in fullback, and they've run some power plays, and his lead blocking has been big. Skaggs has played both ways here tonight, as has Higginbottom and Batustak, and they have certainly aided the overall effort of the Avon Orioles.
Clock's down to 1:25 as they give the ball to Derek Tennant, who just blasts through. And now the Orioles just pounding it straight ahead. Derek Tennant will take it to the 20-yard line. It's a pickup of 9 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 1 as we approach the 1-minute mark left to go. And because I will have to be exiting this place as fast as I can to head to Westfield, we're going to be having a very, very brief post-game report here once this one is over, which is 55 seconds away from becoming a reality, as Avon will be moving to 4-2 on the season. The give is to Tennant. He will go forward, and he'll pick up a couple of yards. That'll be more than enough for a first down. So Avon will move to 4-2. And the last 3 games of the season for the Orioles, 2 of them are on the road. Next week, the Orioles will be at Lafayette Jefferson before their final home game of the season here against McCutcheon, and then big game on the road at Zionsville. Right now, Brownsburg at the head of the HCC, but still some good opponents left for Avon to get themselves ready for postseason play. As Orioles will go into a victory formation, they'll take a knee, and that's going to do it here for Avon. Well, Coach, a good bounce back after a week last week. We saw some Cole Johnson played the entire game. He has 4 touchdown passes, looked pretty sharp at times. All in all, a good game for the Orioles to bounce back and snap that 2-game losing streak.
Well, it's improvement, and I think as a head coach, wins and losses certainly mean something, but I think your goal as a head coach is you want to improve a little bit every day, and you certainly want to improve every Friday night. I don't think there's any doubt that overall this was a good game for Avon, and the thing that I liked, and I'm sure Coach Bless and his staff will like, is I think we had a little bit more of a consistent effort. We didn't have many mistakes. We didn't give up any huge plays defensively. They nickeled and dime a little bit, but nothing that really hurt us defensively. Offensively, not only were we consistent, but we made big plays, and that's something that in the last couple of games we haven't. And the kicking game again was very solid, other than the missed field goal, which is, completely out of character. We caught the ball, we returned the ball, we kicked the ball off into the end zone, we got down and covered, and we had some big performances by some players. Breakout night tonight, I think, for Cole Johnson. They figured out some ways to get the ball to Jalen Edwards. Defensively, Elijah Daniel got a chance to, show some of, the things that he can do. They freed him up and turned him loose, and he made some plays. And, the coverage of the secondary for Avon was outstanding. So all in all, I'd say it was a good game and a big plus, and should have a lot of confidence moving forward in the rest of the year.
Noblesville will fall to 2-4 on the season. They will next play. It doesn't get any easier for the Millers. They have to go to Hamilton Southeastern next week, and as I mentioned, Avon now 4-2 on the year as they travel this Friday, I should say, to Lafayette Jefferson to take on the Broncos. Again, the final score, the Avon Orioles, they knock off Noblesville by the score of 28-14. For Doug Edens and Dave Shelburne, my name is Brian Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. Look forward to seeing you next time here for Oriole Football on Audio Sports Online. Until then, have a good day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Avon Oriole Football, presented by Reynolds Body Shop and XRBRadio.com. Tonight's game was brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McDonald's, ABC Roofing, and Sullivan's Tire Plus. Avon Varsity Football is an AudioSportsOnline.com production.